All right. Shalom. First and foremost, we want to give all praise, glory, and honor to the Most High Yahweh. In the name of His Son Yahweh Shah, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus the Christ, and Asher Shabbat, to the 12 tribes of Israel who were scattered to the four corners of the globe, the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and indigenous Americans, and those that fit the curses that are throughout the Bible. Shalom. We are going to continue in our Torah reading in the book of Genesis, chapter 16 through 24, hopefully. My name is Brother Yakana. This is Hebrew Chosen Elect. And to my right is Brother Gamariah. To my left is Elder Barak. And we fellowship here at Rose Hill Community Center at 19 Lamson Lane, classroom 110B, Newcastle, Delaware, from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. And if you would like to come join us for Shabbat service, we would love to have you. And we're going to begin our Shabbat reading.
Where are we at today?
The book of Genesis, chapter 16, verse 1.
Where are we reading to?
Chapter 24. Oh, shoot. Chapter 24.
I think you wanted, remember last week you wanted to start
15. Oh, yeah,
15
we want to
a little
start
bit.
15.
So you go ahead. If you got any edification on that, go ahead. I'm going to get screen share set up. Yeah, you said like 15, 20 something. Just as to catch everybody up. So we're going to actually start at chapter 15. Kind of like as a recap.
The book of Genesis, chapter 15. 15, yeah.
Okay.
Verse 13. And he said unto Abram, know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs. It shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. And also that nation whom they shall serve will I judge, and afterward shall they come out with great substance. And thou shalt go to thy fathers in peace. Thou shalt be buried in good old age. But in the fourth generation they shall come hither again, for the iniquity of the Amorites is not yet full. And it came to pass that when the sun went down, and it was dark, behold, a smoking furnace and a burning lamp that passed between those pieces. In that same day, Yahweh made a covenant with Abram, saying, unto thy seed have I given this land from the river of Egypt unto the great river, the river Euphrates, the Kenites and the Kenizzites, and the Kadmonites, and the Hittites, and the Perizzites, and the Rephaims.
You're not going to break down 15, 13?
What verse we at? We did that actually last week. This is a recap.
Oh, recap. Okay.
Just to get into 16, to flow into 16. Where we at?
21.
Like read from 18 again.
Okay.
Like it.
In the same day, Yahweh made a covenant with Abram, saying, unto thy seed have I given this land from the river of Egypt unto the great river, the river Euphrates, the Kenites, and the Kenizzites, and the Kadmonites, and the Hittites, and the Perizzites, and the Rephaims.
21.
And the Amorites, and the Canaanites, and the Girgashites, and the Jebusites.
So what's this land is the land of what?
Land
of Canaan. So this is all the different nations that when we came out of Egypt, the Most High had us destroy, and we were supposed to take out, which we didn't take out everybody. But this is the land that Yahweh gave unto Abraham that was going to come to Jacob. Which something of note, though, is it says from the river of Egypt unto the river Euphrates. So what's that mean?
All that land in between is our land.
So we didn't never actually take all the land that's been promised in history. We just took from the Jordan to the Mediterranean. And, well, a little bit over the other side of Jordan was Gad, half tribe of Manasseh. Yeah. So, but it was a whole lot more that was promised.
Yeah. Because all all the way up towards Iraq, where Iraq is today, where the Euphrates River comes down. A lot of that is all land that was promised to us.
And
David was just never able to get everything, during his time. But all that land is promised to us now.
And also during that time we came out of Egypt, that wasn't the time he was like, it was promised to Abraham, but that wasn't the time he was giving it to us, not all of it, because who was in that land and had promised land? Edom. Remember when we came out of Egypt, he said that we're not going to take Edom's land from them. Right? But then the promise is that land will be ours. Future tense. Right? So this is where that's all promised to Abraham, to Isaac, and Jacob. Not the little small land that we got, but all the way from the river Egypt all the way to Euphrates. So it's a whole lot more land.
I think it's
It was promised.
It gives you the different borders of Israel. It gives you the borders of the south, borders of the north, borders of the east, and borders of the west. I think it's in Numbers. I think it's 31 chapter. It's in Numbers, but it gives you the different borders of Israel. And when you read that, Israel is vast, man. It's big. It's bigger than what people think it is. Big. And plus, what was promised to us is bigger than what you see over there now. What Esau says Israel is, that's nothing compared to what you read in the scriptures. What's ours?
Come.
You know what I'm saying? That's nothing.
Hey,
Jordan, like you said, Jordan is ours. Jordan is really part of Israel. But today, Jordan is like a different state, right, than Israel. No, but Jordan is ours.
So them chains did everybody be rocking with Israel?
Yeah.
They supposed to be a lot bigger.
Yeah.
The medallions on the chains everybody rocking. They're supposed to be bigger than that. Did you want to go to the numbers? Or you sure it's there?
No, because it's a whole lot to read. Unless,
okay.
It'll take up time.
All right, so
I think it's in Numbers.
All right, we'll go ahead.
I'll just give I'll look for it, but we ain't got to read it. I'll just announce
okay.
With it.
All right. Come. So we can go ahead. We can go into 16.
The book of Genesis, chapter 16, verse 1. Now Sarai, Abraham's wife, bare him no children, and she had an handmaid, an Egyptian, whose name was Hagar. And Sarai said unto Abraham, Behold, now Yahweh have restrained me from bearing. I pray thee, go in unto my maid, and it may be that I may obtain children by her.
Hold on, what happened now?
Hey, man, Sarah,
what happened? Sarah did what?
Sarah gave Abraham her bondwoman.
It wasn't even permission. He didn't need permission, but it was her idea. It wasn't even his idea. This type time Sarah was on. So what's the problem with the sisters today? Like this will keep some out of the truth. They've been drinking the juice. That's the problem. They've been drinking the cup of America, the cup of Babylon for way too long. And now I got this idea that, not my man, or I'm not polygynous. Like sisters out here, they come to the truth, and now they looking for a man, but they checking. They got an application, and one of the questions on the application is, "Hey, so what are your views on polygyny?" Well, yeah, the Bible says I have more than one wife. I might. I don't know. Denied. Application denied. I'm on to the next. Like they out here looking for men that are ready to tuck their tail and follow their beliefs.
It's a chick went on my Facebook page the past week arguing whether or not men should have multiple wives because Adam didn't have a multiple wife. It don't say nothing about Adam having multiple wives. It say that the Most High allowed other men to have multiple wives. So it's not against the law.
Right.
It's against the law for you to multiply wives to yourselves and not take care of the wives. That's against the law.
Plus, you didn't read the histories of Adam. Yeah. You don't know if Adam didn't have more than one wife.
Yeah.
Right.
Adam lived to be 930 years old.
It didn't say how long he lived.
Right. Didn't say that, right?
And it said
you don't know that. You don't know. You got to read these other histories too that our people don't read. They just read the scriptures.
Yeah.
But you got to read. Like you said, you got to go to Josephus. There's books of Adam
Yeah.
It's out there.
Yeah.
You got to read those books, and it'll tell you all about Adam. Adam had more than just Cain and Abel and Seth.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Adam had more children than that. So, but we don't go into all that.
He didn't have them all.
No, he didn't have them all. No. So,
And where does it say? Where does it say he didn't?
right.
Yeah.
Even let's say there was nothing else that said he had more. Where does it say that he didn't? It doesn't. In Genesis, it don't say that he did or he didn't. It says he had. It gives the name of 3 of his sons. Then it says he had sons and daughters, just like everybody else. Gave the name of the ones that was of the most importance, and then the rest. Oh, he had sons and daughters. It don't never say that he did or he didn't.
Well, it's basically like he didn't name all the children he had, so it was
Right.
He wasn't going. They wasn't going to put all that in there.
Mhm. Yeah,
It's
but
like when all the miracles Christ did, they didn't put them all in there.
right.
The Bible's already a thick book. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
the Most High put everything in there. You know what I'm saying? There's not enough trees in the earth to make all these papers.
What he did put in there though is that he
Yeah.
gave David his wives.
Yes.
David had multiple women, and he said that he gave them to him.
Yeah.
So what's the problem with the black woman today? The pride of America. Americanized got full of pride. They want to be equal, still coming into the truth and still walking around carrying around this feminism movement vibe,
Yeah.
trying to be equal, which means being above. Because it's what's the saying go? A woman is never what? Satisfied. So I want to be equal, and once I get equal, I want to be above. I want to be above. So now I'm checking you. How many? I need to know how many wives are you planning on getting if I get into a relationship with you? Oh, you want another one? I'm moving on. I gotta find that simp that I can walk all over. But then turn around and say, I'm like Sarah. I'm like Sarah. I'm like Abigail. I'm like the righteous women in the scriptures. But we reading right here, the righteous woman did what? She ain't even wait to see if Abraham was looking. She ain't ask if Abraham was looking. She said, you ain't got a child. I got a maid. You're taking my maid. So why? I don't get it. I don't see. It's in the first book. Like there's a lot of stuff in the first book that just cuts the beliefs and the left-handed way that a lot of our people's walking, even when they come into the truth.
Yeah.
They don't like the truth.
They don't. The truth hurts. Yeah.
Salafi. At that same time, it was to be childbearing was to be seen as if you were under a curse of the Most High.
Mm-hmm.
And she was trying to remove the curse by the will of her works instead of waiting on the Most High.
Mm-hmm.
So she was moved by emotion. And that should have been put in check by her husband.
Mm-hmm.
And it
On top of that, to build marriages, it builds kingdoms, and that's what they were setting out to do. It was more about establishing heirs, and that's what she was setting out to do, to make sure that her husband had an heir. Because when you have an heir, you establish your land, you establish your riches, you establish an inheritance to be passed down through lineage, and that's what she was setting out to do. It was nothing about being jealous. It was nothing about
But she was barren.
Yeah, she wanted to
So
pass
she
down the
felt
lineage.
that, well, I can't give him a son,
Right.
so I want to establish that heir.
Right.
Right. So back then, women thought more intelligent.
They weren't thinking about sex.
Right.
They were thinking about
Right.
their passing down their riches.
Exactly.
Yeah, because as we read previously in the previous chapter, that Abraham and Lot, they were rich. They were so rich that they had to separate themselves from amongst each other. They said, look, you go this way towards Sodom and Gomorrah, and look, we're going to go this way towards the land of Canaan, and this is how we're going to do it. You know what I mean? And that's what it was about.
There wasn't someone before Abraham who started the multiple wives thing. I can't say they started with an L.
So what
Start-
It's another guy who didn't he have start with multiple wives before
The
he
very
got to
first
Abraham?
one. I think it was
Well-
or something like that. Begin with an L.
Yeah. I can't think of the name. Was he before Abraham? Or
I don't
He's
think
the
the
first
document.
one that had multiple
It's
wives.
in this. It's in
I don't think the Bible really documents who was the first one.
Yeah,
It doesn't.
it says
It says he was the first one.
He was the first one who started the multiple
Who
wives.
before Abraham?
That's what I'm asking. Was another one in there? I don't know if he started before or after.
Yeah.
Well, I know one of Cain's descendants, but I don't remember it saying he was the first to have more than one wife.
I think
Well, I'm
that's
just saying
it.
with the, well,
Yeah, I got it.
Like, you don't want to say that he was the first. I mean, if it's
Well,
the
that's what
first
we
one
wanted
you
to-
read, you can say that. But you don't want to say, if the Bible don't say he was the first to ever do it, that would make it look like, okay, for one, Cain's descendants was on the left hand side.
well,
Like, somebody gonna run with that and say, yeah, see, these
Yeah, I've heard
wicked
sisters run
niggas
with
started it. The
I've
wicked
heard
started that. What's important is the Most High, he okayed it because David is what was his sin? He said that his sin was the adultery.
Yeah.
But when it came to him having more than one wife, more than one woman, it said that God gave them to him. So we know the scripture says, does God how's it going? I'm about to paraphrase, cause sin, or is he the author of
Is he the
author of sin?
He's giving no man life.
Give no man license to sin. So if it's a sin, but Yahweh gave him the women,
and along
that means he gave license to sin.
yeah, he killed one person that gave David his wife.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was Abigail, wasn't it?
Yeah, killed Nabal.
Yeah.
Killed Nabal, and then gave his wife
to
to David, who then turned around, and when you read it, he went and got another one, because another argument is, well, we're in captivity, so or you're not David, or this or that. David wasn't king yet. He took Abigail, and then he went down and took another woman right after that.
I think it was
The same chapter.
Saul's daughter first.
Yeah, because he was on the run from Saul.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But again, when you look at it, the Most High, he gave certain men more than one wife for the nation's sake,
Yes.
to build the nation.
After war.
You know what I'm saying? Like Jacob. So certain men can deal with more than one wife, but there are certain men that just can't. It's a spiritual thing too. Okay, so it's not. But again, the Most High don't want men to be fornicators. So some men don't know how to handle more than one wife. Understand?
That's
And
true.
for good reason, because it'll destroy them. But some men can handle it though. Understand? So the Most High seen in Jacob that he can handle it. But Jacob didn't want more than one wife. Think about it. Jacob just wanted his one that he wanted.
Yeah.
Jacob just wanted Raquel. He didn't want all them other women.
Mm-hmm.
But the Most High said, no, Jacob, I'm giving you these 4 because I got a plan involved here. You know what I'm saying? There's going to be 12 sons coming out of you. All right. So the Most High did that. And now you can see the same thing. Why he makes Sarah's womb barren up until she was 99 something years old, right?
Mhm.
Because but in Sarah's mind, she would never be able to have a baby. So then the 3 angels came to Abraham and said, look, your wife this time next year, she's going to be pregnant. Sarah laughed and all that.
We're going to read it.
Huh?
We're going to read it.
You already did. Sarah laughed and all that. So it's the providence of the Most High that sometimes give men, more than one wife. But the black woman ain't going to see that today. She see it carnal.
But and some men can't even handle one.
No.
But who's going to be the one to let that brother know, or to even bring that up and
Right.
try to give that judgment?
Right.
Is it on the woman for that,
No.
or is it going to be another man, and she's supposed to fall back and play her
Fall
part?
back in place. Yeah.
And the scriptures say it, because we went there last week, and we need to go there again. 1 Peter chapter 3, 1-5.
Hey, Yaklan, could I just start everybody? Remember we were talking about the land, the borders? It's in Numbers 34. We're not going to read it, but you want to know about the borders of Israel? It gives you the borders of the west, the east, the south, and the north in Numbers 34.
Where does it
And you'll
begin?
see how big Israel is.
From one.
From 1, we go start from
1
1
Peter
and go
3,
all the way
1-5.
down to, I guess, the last verse,
Oh, yeah, that's
the 29th verse.
it.
Go ahead, Al. I'm sorry.
The book of 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 5. For after this manner in the old time, the holy women also who trusted in God.
Wait, did you start one? We're
of
one.
Salakia. The 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 1. Likewise, ye wives, be in subjection to your own
See,
husbands.
women are supposed to be in subjection, whether it's got to do with the bills being paid, how he's spending money, the plans for the future of the house, if he's going out or if he's not, what time he's come back, if he has another woman or not, says to be in subjection. Eve did her thing with, and ate of the wisdom of the good and evil, and God came back and said, woman's gonna be in subjection, and he's gonna rule over you, and you're not gonna sit there and dictate anything in the household when you got a man over you. If he's going the wrong way, it's not that you gotta be mute, but if you put your 2 cents in, like, I don't think that we should take this route, I don't think that we should get this car, or I don't think we should invest in this whatever, this business, and then he still does it, what's she supposed to do? Be in subjection. She's supposed to be in subjection. If he's getting another woman, and it might not even be that she's jealous, but she sees that, she's a demon. I'm trying to let you know, you probably shouldn't take her. I can tell. I know women. You don't take her. Just like be patient, whatever. Just control your lust. And he's like, nah, I want that woman. What's she supposed to do? Be in subjection, right? But they not trying to do that. That's the problem. Right. They got that thing in them, and they not fighting it. They letting it control them.
But brothers should be more reasonable. In other words, spiritually reasonable. Don't just go out and get a woman because you know you can do it. Understand? And she's supposed to be in subjection. If another woman can add to the value of your household and add to your household spiritually to be like build it up or whatever, then I can see that may be one thing. Maybe, let's say if a brother got 3 or 4 or 5 children, whatever, another woman might help out, right? That may be one thing. But just out of pure lust to go out and get another woman, and your woman is like, why are you doing that? Do you need that? And you tell her, well, be in subjection, and that's it.
So it's got to be a sole purpose.
It should be a purpose to it. See, because you got to realize we're still in our type of captivity. We're in our captivity. So the Most High did take that away from us for that, for a certain reason. So it should be purposeful why you go out there and get another woman. Understand? Because why do you go out and get 2 or 3 cars? Do you need 2 or 3 cars?
Depending on how big your family is.
Right. Understand what I'm saying? It should be a purpose. Why you need 2 or 3 houses? Do you really need it? If you only got 1 child, maybe, you know what I'm saying? But if you got 10 children, I can see you might get 2 apartments, 2 houses, whatever. Understand? It should be for a purpose. Okay?
Not for fun.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And when Christ came, he was trying to make a distinction between the law and the spirit of the law, doing things in the spirit of the law. And one of those laws is that we're to love our wives as Christ loved the church.
Exactly.
So when Christ loved the church, even though he was stern in bringing forth what thus saith the Lord is, that he was compassionate, right, as well. So when we're ruling over a woman and we're looking to take on another, if we're looking to take on another wife, then we must be compassionate with the concerns of our wives.
Right.
Because she may say, we may not need that thing.
Right.
I don't need this thing. This is, I'm not mature enough to handle that
Right.
thing at this time.
Right.
Then that compassion is where we have to be able to operate in righteousness to that situation.
And that's where the maturity of wisdom and knowledge come in at for the man. So you got to be mature. You can't rule your household like a roaring lion with no knowledge.
That's all law.
Because sometimes your wife can give you wisdom, and that's what she's there for, to help you out and make you be able to see things that you can't see. See, but if you just say, "Well, be subjection," and that's it,
right?
You know what I'm saying?
Well,
she's packing her bags, going back to
I want to say something though, but at the same time, let's not get away from the point. She does have to be in subjection though. You speaking on the man, she's throwing out these ideas. I'll just making a point. What you do then though is you get counsel. The scriptures say, "Before all things, do counsel." So she does have to be in subjection. The scriptures say, "You shall rule over." you're not supposed to walk in the way that the elder's talking about. You're not supposed to walk that way with your woman. You ain't supposed to walk like that, period. So kind to that. But she's not supposed to be sitting there ruling over you. If you make that mistake and you don't get that counsel, she still, you didn't rape her. She still had the opportunity to choose you at the end of the day. Unless it was like a planned marriage, which doesn't even happen no more. You decide that's why you're supposed, on both ends, as a man, you supposed to, you expect the woman to be, you want her to carry herself like we about to read here in subjection like Sarah. You ain't supposed to just, like he said, be run through women, getting women, run through women. You want to find out, okay, is she going to keep this standard that I'm requiring? Or you acting foolishly because you letting your ride run you and direct you, and you got these plans of this standard that she's going to uphold, but she ain't thinking nothing. And then a month later, a couple months later, a year down the line, she's a lion in the house. Y'all just don't get along, and really, it wasn't never nothing there. But you got into that situation because you was letting your ride lead you. So a woman does have a voice. And if she says something that's makes you think like, okay, she thinks that I'm moving wrong. I'm headed down a dead end street. Okay, let me talk to the men that I know to have wisdom, have a counsel, and then they tell you, yeah, she's right. The same way, the Most High said to Abraham, Sarah's right with regards to doing what? Sarah said, get rid of the woman. The Most High came back and said, yeah, go ahead and do that. So that's what you do. You get counsel. Like, it doesn't mean being in subjection. It doesn't mean not having a voice, but it does mean that at the end of the day, it's like a football team. You got the quarterback, you got the coach, you got the owner. The quarterback, his voice, what he says is going to mean something because he's out there running the whole show for real. But then above him, you got the coach running the whole show, and they might disagree with things. And the quarterback might have a better idea, and it might be worth going to the owner to get this player or whatever. And the owner is going to decide, going to hear both sides and going to say, okay, well, y'all doing this. And then both the owner and the coach is going to do what? They're going to shut their mouth. They're going to do their job. They're going to be in subjection to the direction that the owner wants to go. So in your house, you're that owner. But your wife, she's either the coach or the quarterback. So she's got a voice. But you can't be folding to her wants just because at the same time, it can be your rod that lets your wife make a decision because she's so pretty and it's so good and I just love her so much.
And maybe the skill set is that as a man, if I'm looking for another wife per se, then I should be able to win my wife to that occasion.
Right.
You understand? Not rule over my wife to that occasion. Well, this is what it says because guess what? You can tell me all of what you want to say about the law. Doesn't mean that she can't walk out.
Right. That's why we got to keep it. We got to keep a standard.
Right. So operating in wisdom is not to lose your first. Can I operate in such a way? And that's a test to even say if you deserve a second woman. Right. Because you can't even win the first woman over to that.
Exactly.
Well, absolutely. Because if you have a second wife, the duty of the first wife don't diminish anyway.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
What we got to do is the woman has to be in subjection. We got to remember that, hold up, we're also in subjection too, not to our woman, but to who? To the Most High. Right. And you got to be keeping that standard up in your house, or you're not going to draw, like you just said, just off of being you, draw that the woman want to be all that. So we got to keep that standard. And then if we ain't keeping it anyway, but we're expecting it, what's that make us? Hypocrites. If I want her to be in subjection, but I'm selling weed still because money ain't right, and that's the business venture I want to take. I want to sell drugs to my people, but then go out and try to bring my people in. But then I expect her to be in subjection, and I'm totally not in subjection against the Most High. It's not going to work, and you look like a fool. He had his hand raised.
We were a little ways back that the Tower of Babel. And he separate the nations.
Right.
Okay. Now, when I'm looking at when we read here with Sarah, and she's telling Abraham to go into another person who's another nation, that would make actually, is it his wife or is it concubine?
Well, she's a servant already. That would be a concubine, but she's a servant, but it's still his wife. Concubines are still wives, but yeah, it's a lower. It's like a concubine. That's why. I mean, we're gonna read it. We're gonna read it. Sarah still has control over her. We'll read that. So but yeah, she's a lower wife. She's like when you go to war and you see a woman amongst the captives that you like. Yeah, that's not like your top wife. But it's your woman. That's your wife.
You talking about Hagar?
Yeah, he's talking about Hagar.
Or even woman.
Yeah, she's not on the level of Sarah.
They can't. Now I was asking, can they still be a concubine, but they still be your wife?
Yeah, well, see, remember, Hagar was what? Hagar was really Sarah's
bondwoman.
Maid. So Abraham wasn't going to deal with Hagar. That was just Sarah's bondmaid. Until Sarah said, bring forth a child through my bondmaid. Then that's when Abraham took her and said, okay, well, that's what you say, because Abraham wasn't about to do that. Okay. Then it became Abraham's concubine when he did that.
Okay. So now you got brothers out here trying to use that in place.
Yeah. Because remember, Sarah had already was in obedience to the fact that she couldn't have a child. And so she was going to give Abraham her handmaid so that he could bear forth a child, a son, an heir into the world. Understand? Yeah. Then when Abraham did that, then it became Abraham's concubine. Understand?
Because that was the conversation we had last week about the person that you said they was married to a heathen. And I said, well, the only thing they got to do is make the switch. All they got to do is find a wife of their own nation and make that wife that he wasn't supposed to have, make her a concubine.
But he still got children with her, so they still got a family. He still got to do towards that family.
But standing in the position that he's in sin.
Well, but let's not go to another topic. But regardless, that woman is supposed to be in subjection.
Yeah.
If it's a heathen woman and he gets a Judite woman, that Judite woman is above. But in terms of we're gonna go to a whole nother topic. But in terms of the children, that's his seed. So his firstborn seed is his firstborn seed. We're not like the heathens. The heathens would be like, okay, like the China or wherever, the Mongols, Genghis Khan. Anyway, the king will have kids with like other nations, slaves, and the kids would be called bastards, and they'd just be servants in the kingdom. And he's trying to find a woman of his own nation, and he'll go through 50 of them. None of them have kids, and just to get one, and that'll be the heir. And it could be the 20th born son. He's the heir just because the woman is now the same mongrel nation. The laws of God says the firstborn is the firstborn, right? So we don't want to go there. Let's stay on topic. We got a few chapters to go through. We definitely going to touch it. We're doing the Torah reading.
I mean, to land me back off of that, like when Solomon had Rehoboam still was king, and Nama was his
Ammonite.
Yeah, Nama was an Ammonite. So he's still the heir, whether or not, regardless of the mother was a heathen or not, he's still the heir to Solomon's throne. He's Solomon's successor.
Yeah, okay. I don't go up top. I was making a point with brothers down today when they want multiple wives, they don't want some of them as concubines so they can marry the other nations.
That's doing exactly what the elder said. We ain't supposed.
Yeah, right now.
That's just going off.
We're not in rulership. We're not supposed to be doing that. Like we got a lesson on it too. I'll send it to you. Yeah, I mean, we'll send that to you.
That's just catch letting the lust run them. Yeah. But the thing about that is it's a slippery slope because your lust is running you with regards to that, and you're giving into it. Then your lust is going to run you with chasing money. Then your lust is going to run you with all manner of sin. So you're not supposed to let that. Yeah, you follow the commandments. Keep the ways of God. God said in Sirach, it said, no, Wisdom of Solomon said, there's nothing more valuable than having discipline, right? Using the scriptures to do that, where's the discipline in that? Ain't none at all.
Salaki, if I can say one more thing. Well, when you're looking at Father Abraham, right? You don't think he's, out of the many years he's been with Sarah, he's never said to himself being a herdsman and agriculture, saying that I wish I had a son or somebody to help me do this thing.
Right.
So we're looking at the patience of God, where he was even slow to go to Sarah and say, Sarah, you know what? I would like to have a concubine.
And he was good in his old age. And he ain't even but his lips to say it. She brought that to him.
Every day he needs a helpmate.
Yeah, she's like, I want to give him a helpmate. I want to give him this heir. I want to give him a successor.
But it shows you the mercy and the patience of Abraham when it came down to
Oh, yeah.
operating Sarah. It's not her dominating him. It's him knowing who she was. And it was a delicate situation on how to deal with that, to the point that he won her over to that thing, where she seen that it was shameful for him not to have an heir. I'm watching you go out here 160-degree day, busting your humps all by yourself. You need yourself.
Yeah, and he had cattle and everything.
And the Lord
Yeah.
even said to
Well,
him that he
remember-
even needs a helpmate. She's saying that my husband needs a helpmate.
Hey, he wasn't necessarily by himself. He had
workers.
he had servants.
Yeah, he had.
You read about Abraham's
As a rich
household.
man.
He had servants. Remember, he took 300 of his servants to war.
Yeah.
So he had servants, but again,
Exactly.
he still wanted an heir.
Something close to him.
Still wanted an
Like all these servants were like, you're almost 100 years old and you're looking at a lot of servants, a lot of
right.
wealth, and you know that when you die, somebody that's one of my servants is going to have to be the heir.
Right.
Yeah. So
But that was his complaint.
that was he
That was
said,
his complaint.
I have not an heir.
I don't have an heir.
Exactly.
One of these, my servants are gonna have to be my heir, Mosai.
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
So I need a son.
Yeah,
For the
everything
Most High.
is, everything is yielding fruit
Blessed.
but me.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
Hold the slack you.
When you think about everything that we're saying, bottom line, it goes back to God's purpose.
Mhm.
If it ain't about God's purpose, it's about you.
Yeah.
And that don't make it right.
Mhm.
Exactly.
So evidently, God is preparing both sides for whatever's going on.
Yeah,
He's speaking to each person, making their heart right for what it is he has for them to do and his purpose. Now, when we start just doing things, regardless of what the situation is,
Exactly.
out of our feeling and what we want to do other than his purpose.
So should a man get another wife? Should it be a purpose? It should be a purpose.
it should be a purpose.
Should be the Most
Because
High's
it was a
purpose.
yes.
Reason why he does
Proverbs
that. Not just
19,
because he just
Not
wants
because
to.
he,
Right.
because he figures that's what I want to do.
That's what I want to do. Right.
I got a question.
I want to go on to a verse real quick.
Alright.
But
And also, Yaakov, verse in the Apocryphal quote said, "Keep for a man to maintain the preeminence."
Hold on.
Remember what that said?
Not off top.
I think it's Ecclesiastes, for a man to maintain the preeminence in his household. Because once you lose that, you lose everything.
Khan, it's in Sirach. We'll get it.
Right, yeah.
Hypothetical question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Abraham, even though he didn't have an heir, let's just say he had daughters, he still couldn't leave them as an heir, right?
No,
No,
She got to find a husband.
you gotta get a husband, yeah.
and that's going to
So
An heir has to be a son.
her husband is going to get that inheritance.
Heir cannot be a woman.
And if he's an Egyptian, her husband is Egyptian. That Egyptian's going to have the inheritance of Abraham.
That's why
But-
it's important for a woman not to make children with the other nations either. Because look at the brat. The brat got all this $1 million worth of money, and she said all her brothers is not handsome enough to give her a baby, and she then went and got artificially inseminated by Esau. So then
Who
you
said
get
that?
the brat. So then you in the relationship of confusion, and then you got an artificially inseminated Frankenstein baby by Esau.
She said her brothers.
She said none of the black men was handsome enough to give her a baby. So she went and got impregnated by Esau.
No black man is handsome.
No, that's what she said.
Yeah,
She said it on the Tamron Hall show. I was like, man, are you bugging?
God damn.
None of us is handsome enough. I mean, I know I ain't the best looking brother in the world, but damn, none of us is handsome enough. None of us.
Who's paying her bill? Who's paying her salary? Brothers.
Brothers, Jermaine Dupri.
Yeah. So I mean, this is the craziness
Crazy,
about our
right?
people.
That's insanity.
Yeah, you want us to support with our money, but you don't want to be a part of us.
We done made it rich.
But a lot of the
We
people,
make all of them rich.
a lot of the people that we're watching every day aren't meant to put forth God's word.
No,
It's the total opposite.
They're
So when
made
you're
in vain,
watching
like
them
you said.
shows, you gotta what's the underlying message that they're bringing to the table? All you gotta
Well,
do
they're
is
trying to show us
listen
as
to them.
inferior anyway. That's their motive
And they're
underlying.
using our own people to do it.
Yeah,
Every black person.
I mean Tamara Hall. She even not with a black man. She with a Jewish man.
Yeah, you gotta listen to her because when she first came out, she was real rough.
Yeah,
They had to sit back and school her because her show would not even been on anymore.
Really?
Oh, she's a nasty person for real.
She was forced. I think she was forced because when she was
Oh,
on
yeah.
NBC,
Yeah.
they got rid of her.
Oh, they got rid of her.
She was too radical.
She
In order for her to get back in place, she had to marry somebody outside her nation, and,
Yeah.
and that's when they give her own show again.
The scripture says that he shall give an evil woman to a wicked man, right?
Yeah.
And I think you're gonna find that there's gonna be a lot of black women, we've been watching it,
We've been
that are
watching.
dying. They're dying and nobody's gonna investigate the death that have went over and married Esau
No.
and killed his body.
And they all-
That's how
they all died.
transfer the wealth.
Yeah.
They all
Right?
died.
And we say a marriage is a covenant. A covenant is a contract.
This was one example. Robert De Niro. Remember he married a black woman?
Con, yeah.
Well, they got divorced. You know what she got out of it? Damn near nothing.
Maybe
Maybe like $1 million,
Uh-huh.
something like that.
Right.
And know this contract stated? You'll get $1 million a year if you don't marry nobody. If you go out and marry somebody else, it's cut off.
Cut off.
But now, in all these other divorces you hear, when the black man marry a white woman, the white woman get half the stuff,
Oh,
all
yes,
his houses,
indeed.
everything. This black woman didn't get nothing from Robert De Niro Bailey. What's $1 million, man?
Mhm.
And he's worth damn near $500 million. You know what I'm saying?
Same thing Jordan did.
Yeah, that's what that is. Yeah,
Jordan signed up with his wife.
yeah.
As long as we married, you get $1 million a year. As long as we was married, we married 5 years, you get $1 million a year for that 5 years.
Yeah. That's it.
I remember last year it was that chick what's her name Aaliyah Taylor. She got beat up by the Seahawk. What's his name? Chad Wheeler. She got beat up by him really bad.
Oh,
White
yeah,
dude.
Mike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he beat her up, and then he knocked her out, and he went and ate dinner, and he came back to
He
her and
thought he killed
said,
her.
"Yep." He said, "You still alive?" And then she went on Tamara Hall, and she defended him, talking about, "Oh, he got mental illnesses and stuff."
Right.
You know what I mean?
He did because he failed to kill her. That's why.
Yeah. She was taking up for, he needed to take some medicine. But if that was a black dude, she tried to throw him under the bus.
Yeah.
And if you look at the things he said to her, it sounds as if he was watching Hebrew Israelites because the Hebrew Israelites brothers.
Yeah, he made her bow down to
Really?
him. Yeah,
Really?
he made her bow down to him. He made her bow down to him.
Home and see him.
Yep, she sure did. And then the whole time during the Tamara Hall episode, they were sending. Do you know somebody who has mental illness?
Wow.
Playing little segments, commercials like that to institute that.
Wow.
Oh yeah, he beat her up, but he got mental illness.
He got a mental
They use that
illness.
as an excuse.
Wow. You kidding me?
Like you can watch it on YouTube.
Yeah.
The provocation.
And the whole time you watch it on YouTube, they're gonna be playing. Do you know somebody who has mental illness? If so, call
Yeah.
such and such number.
There's a scripture in Jeremiah
She
4
does.
where it
Yeah.
She does.
Yeah.
Not him. She does.
in Jeremiah 4, it says, the Most High says, really to Eve, he says, thy lovers shall murder you. I think it's Jeremiah 4 and something. But he says, thy lovers in these last days shall murder you. So they marry him if they want to, but ultimately the Most High prophecy going to take place, and they're going to begin to start killing Eve and doing different things to them.
And it's advantageous to do it because it's financially better.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And as you said, he's hearing Israelites teach that his people are going to be wiped off the planet Earth and go into captivity. So now we think he's thinking down in his mind and he's married to a black woman. Well, they're saying that you're the Hebrew Israelite. I'm not going to let you get out of this now. I'm going to take your life. Okay? You know what I'm saying? So she's not going to get out of that. But it's all that's going to manifest itself in the last days.
Is that 4 and 6?
Yeah, is it 4 and 6?
I'm not sure. It's a self-standard towards Zion. He tires. Say not. If I will bring evil from the north in a great destruction.
I think it's yeah.
That would be Joshua 23, 12 and 13.
Bring it out.
Okay, Joshua 23.
31st verse. I'm sorry. 31st verse.
Okay, Jeremiah.
Jeremiah 4:31. You can read after him. Go ahead.
Else if ye do this, do in any wise go back and cleave unto the remnant of these nations, even these that remain among you, and shall make marriages with them and go in unto them,
Unto
He shall
and they
no longer
unto
draw
you.
from amongst you.
Know for certainty that the Lord your God will no more drive them
Out from
out
among you.
any of these nations from before you,
Right.
but they shall be a snare and a trap unto you, and scourge in your sides, and thorns in your eyes, until ye perish from off this good land which the Lord your God hath given you.
Who's that address again?
That's Joshua 23, 12, and 13.
Come on.
Yeah,
I
that's
got that
something.
holiday too.
And was you gonna read that out
Yeah.
in 431?
Oh, 4:30. Okay. Let me see.
Jeremiah.
Reminds. Okay. For I have heard a voice as a woman in travail, and the anguish as of her that bringeth forth her first child. The voice of the daughter of
The
Zion,
nigger woman, so more side specific. You know who that's talking about. Go ahead.
the daughter of Zion that bewildereth herself, that spreadeth her hands, saying, Woe is me. Now for my soul is weary because of murderers.
Because of a murder. They're gonna murder her. Understand? And so all that's gonna manifest itself in these days too. They're gonna murder her. These black women that marrying Edomite men, they're gonna murder her. And just like y'all can bring up about that football player. He tried to kill her.
Yeah, man.
And
Like
she-
he literally just sat down and ate dinner like when nothing happened.
You see how big this dude is?
Yeah, man. Like shit, little like this. He like the Incredible Hulk.
Yes.
Yeah, but when a black man beats up a black woman,
forget about it.
He gets destroyed.
He's
Yeah,
that-
like what's the dude? Jonathan Majors. The chick smacked him with the cell phone and stuff.
Yeah.
She smacked him and he lost everything in Hollywood
Yeah,
behind
you
her.
gotta
Black
pay.
ball.
Nigga running down the street.
So I have one other scripture.
Yeah, go ahead.
Ecclesiasticus 26, 20 to 23. When thou hast gotten a fruitful possession
Yeah, I got that.
through all the field, sow it with thy own seed, trusting in thy own goodness of thy stock, so that thy race, which shall leaveth,
Shall be
shall be
magnified.
magnified, having the confidence of their good descent. And a harlot shall not be accounted, but a harlot shall be accounted as spittle. But a married woman is a tower against death to her husband.
Correct.
That's a rock like he's
Right. And I would say same thing for a black man married to Edomite woman. Understand? The Most High's against it. That's why he read the scripture in Joshua, also the scriptures you read about in the Ezra and Nehemiah, where they prevented brothers from coming in to the land. And these were Israelites. But because they were married to other nations, they said, you can't get it, come in here, man. You gotta go. You and your children and your wife from another nation. You gotta go. You can't come in the land. Right?
What is that next to the answer?
So it's the same thing. So today the Most High's going to do it.
Okay.
So that's why we got to separate ourselves, be unequally yoked, separate ourselves from other nations. Even now, even though we're in America, you can still separate yourself from them now.
Wow, what's that last address?
That was Ecclesiastes.
26.
All right, we're gonna pick it up. First Peter, chapter
3 and
3.
1. 3 and 1.
What's that address again?
First Peter 3 and 1. Likewise, ye wives, be in subjection to your own husbands, that if any obey not the word, they also may, without the word, be won by the conversation of wives.
So this whole conduct by the women today, even outside and even inside of the truth, so-called now new believers, repentant women, this conduct is going to be seen by others. Your conduct as a woman in the house, and if you're in subjection in the conversations you have, like you disrespecting your man, you're questioning him, you're running him, you're saying things to take authority from him, and it happens in public happens in front of people, even if you're not doing it directly to him, you getting on social media and you making all these posts about how men shouldn't have multiple wives, or I follow if he leads right. All these things, that's your conversation. It's a prideful conversation. It's a wicked conversation, and it affects others. Others see that, and others mimic it. So that example you're giving, which is not a woman of God, other women that are coming in, and now they're trying to be this Sarah. They're trying to be this woman of God. They're seeing you, and they think that's the way it's okay. But the scriptures say that the wives be in subjection, that that any that obey not the word without it may be won by your example. That's what it means, your conversation. Your example is going to win people other to the wrong way or the right way. And so that's why it matters. That's why, like, this has to stop with women trying to control men and trying to dictate if they can have multiple women or not. Whatever happened to who's your defender? Who's the judge? Is it the Most High, or is it you? You set the standard. What's going on with the men doing? If I don't like it, then I'm gonna change it. Women might as well start making their own camps, and it's probably coming. The next woman camp, the first woman camp is coming.
Oh, y'all don't have it? Y'all don't see that?
Yeah, it's happening.
Yeah.
I've seen women teach not have their own camp. I have seen a man. Matter of fact, I've seen a man.
I don't want to say his name now, since, but
I've seen a man with his woman teaching and him reading.
I saw that too.
That's a bad example.
There was a woman camp, and one of the leaders of this camp that's out here now. I don't want to say his name now, but he went to the camp. There was a whole woman camp. Didn't rebuke him or nothing. Actually joined in them.
And what they're doing is they're showing a bad example.
Salakia, when we go to camp, the camps represent our military formation. And the men in this nation, we the ones who fight the war. So for a woman to be going out there and be teaching that camp, that's out of order.
Yeah.
Because we at war, we're in our garments. Most of us, if we dress old school, we're in our girds and stuff. You know what I mean? You with your armbands and stuff. That represents us out there being at war. And this is a spiritual war. So our women should not be at this war with us standing on the front lines, because that represents us in that formation right there. You got your speaker, you got your sergeant at arms, you got your men who are the guards side by side, they holding fort. The women should not be in a war formation with the men. It should not be happening.
And you're bringing Christianity right into supposedly left Christianity. You're bringing it back in.
Warfare.
You got your modest apparel on, but your spirit got her breasts out, just like the woman, just like the woman reverend. They got her breasts out
Come on,
at church. You physically got on your hair wrap and your modest apparel, but spiritually you got your breasts out because you're not acting in subjection to your man or any man at that. That you're trying to usurp that authority that God gave the man.
But it's being taught. If you turn on your TV, you go home and turn on the TV today, I guarantee you that 90% of the TV shows that you're going to watch is police shows with now the women is leading that police show.
The police, the judge, you got Judge Judy. Judge Judy.
Judge Faith.
Yeah,
Judge Faith. Yeah.
It's the message that's trying to be pushed. That's why this is so important. That's why educating people is so important. Because you can sit back and be a part of it and don't even understand what you're a part of.
That's true. And that's why it's so important that a woman that's supposedly now believing repenting is to set that example, because you came in, especially if you came into this thing, you've seen the camps, you've seen the videos, you've been to a class, and you've heard all the bashing of what the world is doing. You don't have an excuse. You know exactly what's being taught on TV and taught in the world is the wrong example to set. You should be not following that in the least bit. Bringing Christianity and acting like a man and usurping authority, but claiming to be Sarah. But this is Sarah. Read on.
Verse 2. While they behold your chaste conversation coupled with fear.
And what's it mean to be chaste? It means to be in control of your lust, you're in control of what comes out of your mouth, your chaste conversation. Our women, a lot of them, even in truth, are loose with the tongue.
Yeah. Verse 3, whose adorning let it not be that outward adorning of plaiting the hair and of wearing of gold or of putting on of apparel.
And on this, in the same token, even the opposite, where you're adorning, ain't that? Don't let that adorning of meekness and modesty be just an outward adorning. It has to be an inward adorning. It has to be true. It has to be in spirit and truth. Go ahead.
But let it be done, but let it be the hidden man of the heart, in that which is not corruptible, even the ornament of a meek and quiet spirit, which is in the sight of God of great price.
Woman, that shalom. We went over it last week. Shalom. But at home, where's the meek and quiet spirit? It's name some rappers. It's Cardi B at home.
Dirty Red,
It's Dirty Red at home.
Dukiana,
It's I Hate My Baby Daddy at home. But
Glorilla.
come to a summit or a camp or a class. It's shalom. Yeah, your house more. I thought y'all by some shy. It has to be. It can't be faking. It has to be real. It has to be here and at home. When you go home, that's how it's supposed to be with your man, your head, your Lord, which is Sarah called Abraham Lord. It's gonna say that.
Not even that with your brothers too, because like sisters like be at work and you be Esau's best friend, and then you treating your brother bad on the flip side, right at work. You know what I mean? Cooning.
A woman will get online and argue with a man that ain't her man. But it's supposed to be, like you just said, your brother, but you arguing with him.
5 days and I didn't even respond to an argument about whether or not David had multiple wives, but did Adam. Like you still on? I didn't even respond to you. Why you still commenting on my post for?
Right. That's why Christ said, "Where's your husband?" Oh, I haven't found one that can lead right. That's her answer.
Oh yeah.
And you ain't gonna be it either because you can't. You teaching the scriptures wrong, brother.
You can't teach me because you're not my husband. It don't say that. It say the man is the head of the woman. We the leaders of this movement. We the leaders of this movement. Like it's time for us to take that back, leadership. That's why our communities is failing now, because the men need to take back the leadership. We need to show our daughters how to be treated by men. We need to show women that. We need to show young men how to be men and stand on their all fours without selling drugs and stuff like that. It's our duty to do these things. But you gotta be willing to let us lead.
Come on. Keep reading.
Verse 4, but let it be the hidden man of the heart, and that which is not corruptible, even the ornament of a meek and quiet spirit, which is in the sight of Yahweh of great price. Mm-hmm. For after the manner in the old time, the holy women also who trusted in Yahweh adorned themselves, being in subjection unto their own husbands.
They was in. This is what. See, a holy woman is in subjection. Keep going.
Even as Sarah obeyed Abraham, calling him Lord.
Called him. What did she call him?
Even as Sarah obeyed Abraham, calling him Lord.
My baby.
Even as Sarah obeyed Abraham, calling him Lord.
That's not your baby. You give birth to those. You give birth to babies. That's your Lord. That's the problem. They even in the truth, women ain't looking at their man like that's my Lord. They're not. A lot of them, they're looking at you and they're thinking, okay, you ain't David. You're not Gideon. You're not none of these people. You're a Negro trying to get it right, and that's all you're gonna be, Negro. They supposed to be looking like that's your Lord. Our Lord is what's Christ called? The Lord. So you're gonna carry it with your house shot like that. But that's how they, like Paul said, the head of man is Yahweh Shai, and the head of woman is the man. But they like, nah. He works at Home Depot.
Oh, I was great to say that, man. I swear to God.
He's my husband. That nigga, he work at Home Depot. It's my baby. I love him, but that's not my Lord. It said Sarah obeyed Abraham, calling him Lord. Go ahead.
For after this manner in the old time, the holy women also who trusted in Yahweh adorned themselves, being in subjection unto their own husband, even as Sarah obeyed Abraham, calling him Lord, whose daughters ye are, as long as ye do well, and are not afraid with any amazement.
Yeah, let's read 7 and then go back.
Likewise,
7 and 8. 'Cause-
likewise, ye husbands dwell with them according to knowledge, giving honor unto the wife, as unto the weaker vessel, and as being heirs together of the grace of life, that your prayers be not
So
hindered.
we got a ways that we supposed to conduct ourselves to. You already went over it. So we're not going to go over it again. Read 8.
Verse 8, finally, be ye all of one mind, having compassion one another, love as brethren, be pitiful, be courteous.
Mhm.
Not rendering
This is
evil
supposed to be amongst the body, but as well first in the house. Go ahead.
not rendering evil for evil or railing for railing, but counterwise blessing, knowing that ye are thereunto called, that ye should inherit a blessing.
Come on, let's go back.
The book of Genesis, chapter
We
16.
went an hour on that one. Good. Go ahead.
And Sarah, Abraham's wife, took Hagar, her maid, the Egyptian, after Abram had dwelt 10 years in the land of Canaan, and gave her to her husband, Abraham, to be his wife.
Go ahead.
And he went in unto Hagar, and she conceived. And when she saw that she had conceived, her mistress was despised in her eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And
So
Sarai,
she got prideful. It's like, okay, you 99, you still ain't even had one. I'm knocked up. Oh, he gonna like me better now. Go ahead.
and Sarai said unto Abram, my wrong be upon thee. I have given my maid into thy bosom.
Mhm.
And when she saw that she had conceived, I was despised in her eyes.
Uh-huh.
Yahweh judge between me and thee. But Abram said unto Sarai, behold, thy maid is in thy hand.
Mhm.
Do to her as it pleaseth thee.
See, well, that's what we was talking about earlier. He told her to do as it pleases you. This ain't got nothing to do with me. That's y'all women stuff. You like, hey, that should do whatever. Do whatever you gotta do. I ain't worried about that.
Salakia and Hagar, when she looked out on all the wealth that was out there,
Mm-hmm.
she just sidetracked Sarah.
Mhm.
All this belongs to my son.
That's what she thought. Exactly. She thought she was special now, though, because I'm having him.
You're gonna
I'm
die
special
off.
now. Like him, I bet you I bet this threw her off.
Yes.
Abraham saying, telling Sarah, go ahead. She thought she was at a level now. This threw her for a curveball. She didn't expect that because she let that pride get to her.
And
She
better-
got pride.
And you better die before Abraham, because if you don't, then I'll decide what you get.
Exactly. That's where it go.
Yes.
Yep. Go ahead.
Slakia. But Abram said unto Sarai, behold, thy maid is thy maid. Do to her as it pleaseth thee. And when Sarai dealt hardly with her, she fled from her face.
Mhm.
And the angel of Yahweh found her by a fountain of water in the wilderness, by a fountain in the way to Shur. And he said, Hagar, Sarai's maid, whence camest thou? And whither wilt thou go? And she said, I flee from the face of my mistress Sarai. And the angel of Yahweh said unto her, return to thy mistress, and submit thyself under her hands. And the angel of Yahweh said unto her, I will multiply thy seed exceedingly, that it shall not be numbered for multitude. And the angel of Yahweh said unto her, behold, thou art with child, and shalt bear a son, and shalt call his name Ishmael, because the Lord hath heard thy affliction.
Mhm.
And he will be a wild man. His hand will be against every man, and every man's hand against him. And he shall dwell in the presence of all his brethren. And she called the name of Yahweh that spake unto her, Thou Yahweh seest me. For she said, Have I also here looked after him that seeth me? Wherefore the well was called Beer-lahai-roi. Behold, it is between Kadesh and Bered. And Hajar bare Abram a son, and Abram called his son's name, which Hajar bare, Ishmael. And Abram was 86 years old when Hajar bare Ishmael to Abram.
How old? Anybody who knows how old that was?
That's 84.
86. Con.
86, yeah. That's
So
the
you-
six on there.
Con. Go ahead. Next chapter.
Verse 17. And when Abram was 90 years old and 9, Yahweh appeared to Abram and said unto him, I am the almighty power. Walk before me and be thou perfect. And I will make my covenant between me and thee, and will multiply thee exceedingly. And Abram fell on his face, and Yahweh talked with him, saying, As for me, behold, my covenant is with thee, and thou shalt be a father of many nations. Neither shall thy name any more be called Abram, but thy name shall be called Abraham. For a father of many nations have I made thee. And I will make thee exceedingly fruitful, and I will make nations of thee, and kings shall come out of thee. And I will establish my covenant between me and thee, and thy seed after thee, and their generations for an everlasting covenant, to be Yahweh unto them, and to thy seed after thee. And I will give unto thee and to thy seed after thee the land wherein thou art a stranger, all the land of Canaan, for an everlasting possession, and I will be their power. And Yahweh said unto Abraham, Thou shalt keep my covenant, therefore, that thou and thy seed after thee and their generations. This is my covenant which ye shall keep between me and you and thy seed after thee. Every man among you shall be circumcised, and ye shall circumcise the flesh of your foreskin, and it shall be a token of the covenant betwixt me and you. And he that is 8 days old shall be circumcised among you, every man child in your generations. He that is born in the house or brought with money of any stranger which is not of thy seed. He that is born in thy house and he that is brought with the money must needs be circumcised. And my covenant shall be in your flesh for an everlasting covenant. And the uncircumcised man child whose flesh of his foreskin is not circumcised, that soul shall be cut off from his people. He hath broken my covenant. And Yahweh said unto Abraham, As for Sarai, thy wife, thou shalt not call her name Sarai, but Sarah shall her name be. And I will bless her and give thee a son also of her. Yea, I will bless her, and she shall be a mother of nations. Kings of people shall be of her. Then Abraham fell upon his face and laughed.
Hold on. It said, Kings of people shall be of her.
Kings of people shall be of her. Then Abraham fell upon his face and laughed, and said, In his heart shall a child be born unto him that is 100 years old, and shall Sarah that is 90 years old bear? And Abraham said unto Yahweh, Oh, that is Ishmael might live before thee. And Yahweh said, Sarah thy wife shall bear thee a son indeed, and thou shalt call his name Isaac. And I will establish my covenant with him for an everlasting covenant, and with his seed after him. And as for Ishmael, I have heard thee. Behold, I have blessed him, and will make him fruitful, and will multiply him exceedingly. 12 princes shall he beget, and I will make him a great nation. But my covenant will I establish with Isaac, which Sarah shall bear unto thee at this set time in the next year. And he left off talking with him, and Yahweh went up from Abraham. And Abraham,
What do we see here? What do we see here? What did we just read? The separation between these two sons.
Right, Ishmael and Isaac.
Like, Ishmael is older, but this covenant is going with Isaac. That's why even in the Quran it says the chosen people are who? Israel. Don't even say Ishmael. Even their book says it's Israel because the Most High he made a separation with Abraham with his sons. Okay, Isaac is going to be the seed. So this is where Paul was getting the Romans verse from. That said, "In thy seed shall be seed of the promise versus seed of the flesh."
Romans 9:11.
Come.
Anybody know why they call? I know y'all don't. Anybody here know why they call Ishmael a wild man? No. Anybody else?
Because he's part of this move on the earth with Islam.
Do you know what happened to the towers in New York?
He's a religious fanatic.
Right.
But he's the only one that strapped a bomb to
Mhm.
so I can go into
Yeah.
the market.
Oh, yeah.
He's a wild man.
That's what wild man.
Yeah,
Wow.
Yeah. exactly.
Take planes and run them into the building.
Mm-hmm.
They cutting themselves with swords and stuff. Yeah. That's wild.
Run up in your library with a bomb on his chest.
In the Apocrypha, it tells you they're gonna remember their nature in these last days. They're gonna remember who they are.
Yeah, that's why sometimes when I see him, I try to stay away from him.
They're gonna come out like a real wild man, the way the Most High made them.
Right.
In the Apocrypha.
And there's some resentment between Ishmael as well as it is with Esau towards Israel.
Mhm.
Both of them resent that they're not the election.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Absolutely.
Chosen of the Most High. So
Oh, they're a second chief demon.
Right. And we watch our captivity come out of the sub-Saharan slave trade, which
Come.
is the Arab slave trade. Right?
You remember what I read?
Right in the thicket
But-
with Edom.
But as you can see, they did come out of Abraham, though.
Come.
So they did come out. So when they make that claim, they're correct.
Mhm.
But of course, they didn't come out of Isaac.
You remember what I read about the Arabs a couple weeks ago? Out of the Philo? Huh? Kalak.
Mhm. Yeah, you have to-
Let me pull it up real quick. About Esau and Ishmael and their jealousy of not being chosen.
Mhm. Same part.
Yeah,
This one here in Second Esdras 15:29. See, it says, "Where the nations of the dragons of Arabia
Yeah, come.
shall come out with many chariots, and the multitude of them shall be carried as the wind upon the earth, that all they which hear them may fear and tremble them." See?
What was that address again?
Second
Second Esdras 15:29.
29.
Then it says also the Carmanians raging in wrath shall go forth. And we look at that as being, because that's the area where like Iran is today. So
Yeah,
talking about-
Iran.
Talking about the
Persia,
Iranians.
yeah.
Iranian.
If you look it up, it'll say Iran.
Yeah, Carmen is a city in
Carmen,
Iran.
it's- yeah. Okay. It's raging in wrath like wild boars of the wood. Raging in wrath with great power shall they come and join battle with them and shall waste a portion of the land of the Assyrians. How about that? Okay. And then you bring it to date, the Assyrians is talking about who's in power today? Esau.
Esau.
Right?
God.
And then shall the dragons have the upper hand, remembering their nature. So what did Most High say to Hagar? Your son's gonna be a wild man.
Mm-hmm.
Be a wild man.
Said everything
Yeah.
against his brother.
You got the Yemenis with just little cargo, little ships, shooting
Tankers.
little fire missiles at Esau's
Warship.
warships. Is
Mhm.
what do you call them? They have the planes on them.
Battleship.
Aircraft carriers.
Aircraft carriers.
Mm-hmm.
Big ass aircraft carriers. They're shooting at. You know what I'm saying?
They're known as the pirates, right?
Yeah, you
Those would be
No, I'm talking about
pirates. They go still Esau's cargo ships. Remember they had that
Yeah.
movie Captain Phillips.
yeah.
Yeah, the
That's
Somali
your
pirates.
modern day pirates. That's what pirates was all about.
Yeah, but they mixed
It's
with
all-
Arabs too. It's Arabs and Kush.
Look what it said about the Arabians.
where you at?
Speaking on, well, this is in Philo,
Okay.
and I don't got it pulled up, but I got it on this other thing. The Arabian Philo said this is first century, so 2,000 years ago. This is Christ time. The Arabians are people being inimicably disposed toward the Hebrews for no other cause more than because they honor and worship the highest and mightiest cause of all things as being dedicated to the creator and father of the universe as his peculiar people, and having tried every imaginable device and exhausted every contrivance to cause them to abandon the worship of the one only true and living God, and to forsake holiness and adopt impiety, thought that if they could do so, they should be easily able to get the better of them. Speaking on that jealousy. And now what's the jealousy of Ishmael and Esau? What's the two top religions that we follow? That is, Christianity, Catholicism on the one side, and Islam that the Arabians created, who they wanted from the first century to exhaust every contrivance that caused us to abandon serving the Most High. And both of them has done that.
And Hagar has been in Ishmael's ear for, if she lived 300 years,
Mhm.
300 years perpetuating this envy
It's
of
envy.
Sarah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So his spirit has been turned up by his mom
Absolutely.
every day, right?
And then also, you got to read the histories again about Ishmael. Ishmael was always jealous of Isaac.
Isaac, yeah.
He was always jealous of Isaac.
Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah,
and,
he
and
was,
Abraham was able to see the spiritual difference between them. And because Ishmael was like 14 years older, I think, than Isaac.
Yeah, because he was 86,
Yeah.
then 99. So
Yeah.
the,
So there
roughly
was 14
14.
years.
Yeah.
Con,
There was
just
a jealousy there.
to let me back off what the elder saying in extra history, it's even references to show why Sarah wanted Ishmael going out the picture, because Ishmael was taking an arrow and pointing it at Isaac like, yo, I'm ready to shoot this dude, you know what I mean? And practicing like, yo, I'm ready to cap him with the arrow, you know what I mean? So she had reason to like want him up out of here, you know what I mean?
And he would do the jealousy thing too, like what Sarah did, what Hagar did. Hagar did put that in his mind that you're the heir, you're gonna get all this. So you're the firstborn, and so Ishmael was always thinking that. Even when Abraham had to take Isaac, remember the Most High told Abraham take Isaac to the mountain that he's gonna be sacrificed, but we know he didn't do it. But from when you read the history, he brought Ishmael with him. But he told Ishmael to at a certain point to stay there.
Right.
I'm gonna take Isaac to go do what I got to do. So Ishmael, again, that jealousy thing. The Most High showed Abraham it's not going to be Ishmael. So I don't want you to deal with Ishmael. So why are you bringing him? Keep him there, and then bring Isaac up to the mountain to sacrifice him. You know. So it was always there. And then when you read the histories about the Arab slave trade. You know, of course, the so-called Jew had a big hand in the slave trade, but the Arabs were right there with the so-called Jew.
1400 years before.
Yeah, before. So to perpetuate that, like I said, that envy and jealousy thing, that they don't want to serve the Most High.
And it repeated itself with Esau and Jacob. That
Yeah.
same jealousy.
And that's the same way.
Same
That's the same way that the Negro was over there on West Coast Africa changing to Christianity. It was the same thing with the Arab slave trade. That's where we was getting Islam from, converting to Islam, because Muhammad went out and was going to get people to convert by death, or death or convert, slavery or convert.
Yeah,
And they did that all across the northern part of Africa, where we had taken over, called Mauritania. And we had control of all that region, and we were ruling in these areas. We had established our own libraries, our own kingdoms. We had underground tunnels and stuff. And the Arabs came in there like, look, y'all going to follow Islam or we're going to kill y'all straight up. And that's how it went.
Before the march of Catholicism.
Yeah.
You're under the caliphates.
Yes.
Okay, so we were slaves under them, and they had Muhammad had slaves. He had Hebrew Israelite slaves.
A good book to read on that is you Elder might know more, but one good book to read on that is called Race and Slavery in the Middle East.
Yes.
It tackles a lot of what was going on with the the Arabs.
When the
And-
Ottoman Empire took over, they had merged with the so-called Jew, right? They had merged with Esau.
You're right. Yeah.
That was the Ottoman Turkish Empire.
Mhm.
And then, of course, they took the so-called Christians, meaning us Hebrews, as slaves.
But we can go back.
The book of Genesis, chapter 17, verse 22. And he left off talking with him, and Yahweh went up from Abraham. And Abraham took Ishmael, his son, and all that were born in his house, and all that were brought with his money, every male among the men of Abraham's house, and circumcised the flesh of their foreskin in the selfsame day, as Yahweh had said unto him. And Abraham was 90 years old and 9 when he was circumcised in the flesh of his foreskins. Whew.
Mhm.
Ishmael, his son, I'm sorry.
Check this out, though. Read this part.
That was painful.
Read this. No, keep going.
And Ishmael, his son, was 13 years old when he was circumcised in the flesh of his foreskin.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but don't the small hats at 13 do the bar mitzvah? And
Yes.
that's when they do this? Don't they? The small hats do it at 13, right? Some might do the 8th day,
You mean
but I-
circumcised?
Yeah.
Ain't there a lot of small hats that do that
Yeah,
at the
a
bar
lot
mitzvah?
I think that there's certain sects of them that do
Because, but
it.
they're following. This is what happened to Ishmael. Though. That's why I brought this.
That's-
Ishmael's. Why are they following?
Yeah.
The Ishmael. What happened with Ishmael?
Because that's when the law was given. We know the law is really supposed to be 8 days when you're 8 days old. But the Most High, because he's instituting the law, that's why it was done at that time when he was that age.
Right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
I'm just.
Yeah.
But I'm just pointing out to
But
show though.
following
They're
that.
claiming to
Yeah.
be us.
Yeah.
They the small hats
Yeah.
and claiming the Torah, but they're following what happened with Ishmael.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
He's such a devil.
It's crazy. But yeah, go ahead.
Right.
And at that time,
And then,
it didn't exist. It wasn't no
No.
real refined razor.
Oh, Jesus
No.
We thought it
Christ.
was
Yeah.
less than that.
then they probably took a. Well, they had swords and stuff, knives and stuff. So they. They know what they were doing.
Somebody gonna say that means the old world was here because the Aztecs had that black stone that was what's it
Oh,
called?
obsidian.
Somebody gonna take
I can tell you,
somebody gonna take that and say, see, this is the original
But they
old world. That's the new world over
they
on
didn't
that
use
side.
rocks, man. Come on, let's
Yeah,
be
they
real.
said they used rocks.
They didn't use
You know what I'm
rocks.
saying? But the steel wasn't as refined as a straight razor or a scalpel.
Yeah.
Nah, that obsidian though, it's
Man,
not.
that's sharp.
It's like
It's
They cut
that's
off a horse neck.
it's not like a rock.
But
Well,
it's
I mean, it might be a rock, but it's like
irregular,
it
though.
gets
Yeah.
sharp. It's like
Yeah.
a razor sharp.
Fractures and
Yeah,
kinda
yeah,
odd
yeah.
ways.
You got smashed in certain ways, like yeah.
All right.
And in the self same day was Abraham circumcised, and Ishmael his son, and all the men of his house, born in the house and bought with money of the stranger, were circumcised with him.
Because I
What
said,
verse we at?
but you do have the
18,
sect.
great be 18 to 1.
Yeah.
Oh, we finished it out.
Oh,
Yeah, you do have the sect, Akim, of Esau, them so-called Jews that they do it when the children are born, the sons are born, and then they bite it. You know what I'm saying? They bite it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So
I've
that's-
seen that,
that's-
and
right.
just let me back on what you said. They said there was a couple rabbis giving like their children herpes and stuff like that
Right.
because they was biting on
They
it.
bite, yeah.
Yeah,
The Moya.
Is that there?
Moya.
Yeah.
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 gross.
That's
man.
disgusting.
Now, even though they do theirs when they're like 8 days old or whatever, but they're biting it, man.
Yeah.
Come on, you know, it's a biting thing.
And they tried to put a law in place, but those people were saying like the hell with American law, we gonna still do
Yeah.
Man,
it up in New York.
That's that
Yeah.
no profane person, no fornicator,
Amalek,
no homosexual like him.
Yeah.
That's
some
crazy.
top beast of the field. Verse 18. And Yahweh appeared unto him in the plains of Merriman, and he sat in the tent door in the heat of the day. And he lifted up his eyes and looked, and lo, 3 men stood by him. And when he saw them, he ran to meet them from the tent door and bowed himself toward the ground and said, My power, if now I have found favor in thy sight, pass not away, I pray thee, for thy servant. Let a little water, I pray you, be fetched, and wash your feet, and rest yourselves under the tree. And I will
Yeah, so what's Abraham showing here? Go with Hebrews 13, 1-2. Abraham is showing, but humility, yeah, but what else? Exactly. Abraham is showing, he's hospitable to the stranger.
What's that receipt again?
Hebrews 13, 1-2.
the book of Hebrews, chapter 13, 1-2. Let brotherly love continue. Be not forgetful to to entertain strangers, for thereby some have entertained angels unawares.
So see, that's why the scripture says, make sure how you entertain strangers. You could be entertaining an angel. And that's what Abraham, he was entertaining angels, right? And he didn't know them before, they didn't live amongst him, but they came through and he did what? He's getting them food. He's like, you getting them ready to lodge. Go to 1 Peter 4, 9-10.
I heard one of those angels was Michael the Archangel. That's what I heard.
Yeah.
So 1 and 2.
1 Peter 4, 9,
The book of
9 and 10.
1 Peter chapter 4, 9 and 10. Use hospitality one to another without grudging. As every man have received the gift, even so minister the same one to another as good stewards of the manifold grace of Yahweh.
See, so that's what we're supposed to do. That's how we're supposed to act. Romans 12, 9-13. That's how Abraham act. That was the characteristics of Isaac, Jacob. That's supposed to be the characteristics of us.
And contrary to having an evil eye towards your brother.
And yeah, especially us, because even the Christians do this. Even the Christians do it. So how we come in here and we act like, sometimes we act like we don't know no niggas to put it frank. Like, I don't know. We act like that sometimes. Yeah, where's the brotherly love? Where's the hospitality
Angels
ones?
can come in any form. I've had angel, to this day I thought it was an angel, but came to me like it was a guy on the street asking for money, like a bum or whatever, and he kept asking me for money, and I didn't want to give him no money. I didn't want to give it to him. I figured he was going to spend it on, getting high or whatever. But he kept asking me. So I finally gave in and gave it to him. But as soon as I stepped away for about maybe 2 steps, I turned around, gone.
And that
thin air, gone. I know he ain't moved that fast. Ain't nobody moving that fast. Come on.
and that's like something that happens a lot. Like it happens a lot.
Yeah.
You have to deal with that.
You gotta deal with it.
Like
right?
they come up and
you don't know how they're gonna come out. You gotta be careful how you entertain brothers.
But one way to deal with it though, because like it's hard to tell somebody who's down and out nowadays from somebody that's on drugs.
Right.
Now it's like they look the same.
They look the same.
Right. One way to kind of circumvent because you look like I don't want to feed your drug habit.
Right.
Like you want to give, but you know what I'm saying? That's what be in your head. One way, what I like to do is ask them, okay, want me to get you something? Because usually it's in front of the store. That's where they get you. Yo, you want me to get you something to eat out here? Look, you need money.
That's
Shoot,
how
I can.
You go around.
You need $1. I can get you something to eat. Cost $5.
Yeah, right.
You want something to eat and drink? Or and it'd be like, nah, I'm good. I want cigarettes. That I'm like, nah, I can't. That happened to me the other day. I was like, you want me to get something to eat out here for you? The lady came and asked me. She was like, no, I'm trying to get cigarettes. I said, I can't support
I
can't support that.
It's for something else.
Yeah, I can't.
The Most High might be sending somebody away to help though too. Like we was at camp in Worcester one time with the brothers, and this dude just got out of jail, and he didn't have no sneakers, he just had flops. And we was at camp, and we was like, it's the Shabbat, but you know what? We're gonna go buy this brother some shoes. We went and bought his brother some shoes, and the next week he came back. He had a job and a haircut and everything. and just that, us helping him get them sneakers, helping him get a job. His family had moved to Puerto Rico and all that stuff.
Right,
And just them sneakers helped him get a job. Fresh out of jail. And he came back and he thanked us. He was like, "Yo, thank you, brother, so much, man. Y'all really moved by God. Yeah, I mean, all that stuff." And he was really, really gracious for that. You know what I mean?
And he did it on the Sabbath.
Yeah.
See, when you do good on the Sabbath, Yahweh Shai is for that. Understand what I'm saying? But when you do things that are not appropriate on the Sabbath, then Yahweh Shai is against that.
Yeah.
So, but you may have somebody out there say, well, they bought the shoes on the Sabbath. No, that's what
He
Yahweh
needed them
Shai wanted. He
shoes.
wanted at that time.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? You had to help him at the time that he needed help. You can't say, well, wait till next week because it's Sabbath today. No, it's a time to help him
Yep.
right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. And we went right to
Sabbath is
Family
made
Dollar
for
and got
man,
his
not man
shoes.
for the Sabbath.
Yep.
So that, you're right. That was a blessing, but that could have been, like you said, an angel just to see what y'all were going to do.
Yeah.
I had that same experience, man.
Yeah.
But at the time, I ain't know about what was a Edomite and all that kind of stuff. As I was coming to the store, he old white guy, and he asked me for some money. I said, "Let me get something to eat." And I gave it to him. As soon as I got in the car, I forgot something in the store. I said, "Hey, what happened to that dude that came in just?" He said, "I don't know." I said, "Where did he go?"
But that even appears to Edomite. You got to remember, if your enemy thirsty and hungry, you're supposed to feed them too, because you're heaping coals on their head.
They can come as Edomites.
Yeah.
I remember that too.
I didn't know that because I was trying to come away quick.
And if they come to Edomite, I'm kind of leary, but
Be $1.
there are times
$1.
the most I can send them is anything.
Like, give you $1.
Yeah.
Here's $1.
Yeah.
Jake,
You might not give them as much as
Yeah.
You
Jake
got
or
to
whatever.
think that
Yeah.
you might
Yeah.
think it's an Edomite.
Jake and the
Imagine
whole
how much pride it take, an Edomite, and we in their kingdom. How much pride it take for them to ask you for something. Just imagine how much pride it take.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, I think about.
You mean humility?
Yeah. How much it take away, but they pride. You know what I mean? Take away their pride.
oh, take away. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what make me get over on when I think about when Edomite helped me out when I was stuck on 95, he see me walking.
Yeah, but it say when a man's ways please the Lord, it make his enemies be at peace with you.
Right.
So when you doing the right thing in the Most High, he gonna make them do things for you.
Anyway.
He done did it just with me being out of my job recently. You know what I mean? He done used the heathens and worked through them to give me some blessings and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And that's the Most High doing it. You gotta look at it like that. He making your enemies be at peace with you, and they still the damn devil.
He said he cause your enemies to entreat thee
Yeah,
in the last days.
he gonna prepare a table amongst them for you.
Your house shot did what? What your house shot do? He gave the crumbs.
Yep, don't the dogs eat off the crumbs that fall from the table?
The elder said it. Esau might get something, not what Jake does. So
Right.
that's all it is. Give them the crumbs. Give Jake give your brother the loaf. Exactly. That's all.
You can even say what Yahweh Shai said. Look, you could say, look, I can't give you what I can give my people. I'm not gonna give you this. Maybe $1 or $2, you know what I'm saying? But I can't give you what I'm gonna give my people. That's what Yahweh Shai
Yeah,
did.
he said it's not meat to give the children's food to the dogs.
Right,
And there you go. If he's hey, why you give him more than me?
right.
But he just said, because it's not me for me to give to the dogs what I give to the children. You're not my people, man.
So
You got the crumb.
I needed this, believe it or not, because before I retired, working and being out all the time, you witness a lot of different things. And they have actually guys that bring groups of people out and leave them on 13 and leave them on our main streets. That's the ones hustling you for money.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't no they need. It's they making more money than some
That's
people.
another thing.
Yeah.
A lot of Edomites make that a job to stand out there and act like they
Well,
need it.
have people that bring them in groups.
Yeah, no, I know. I believe that.
This guy
It's a whole
lines up,
hustle.
He brings them lunch back later.
Really?
Oh man, it's a business.
Man, they doing it in
hustle.
Middletown.
Yeah.
It makes it harder for me to.
To give, like
Yes.
like you said, you got to weigh it. You got to weigh it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you got to ask them questions. You got to weigh it, or just get them something to eat.
Mhm.
Like he said, instead of giving the actual money, you got to weigh it.
Because then I question myself when I don't. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? But you see this happening so much now, you know, like you
Yeah.
said, it's a
You gotta use the spirit of discernment. Like I said, they do it in Middletown, man. Like it's pretty much they got community refrigerator, then they give them bus passes, and then they give them free haircuts, and then they go panhandle, and then you don't go look for the job, so it's enabling them.
yes,
But then it's some people that really do need the things that's out there. You know what I mean?
yes,
And then there's some people that's going to panhandle and go buy
They
crack.
have it good. Some of them have it real good, huh?
yes.
Some of them have it real good.
Like you said, Elder,
Yeah.
you can ask questions.
Yeah.
Like it don't nowhere in scripture say that you gotta give with no
Yeah.
questions asked. You can inquire like to where'd you come from? What do you really need this for? What are you out here for? What's your story?
Howard Shy questioned the woman at the well. Remember the woman at the well? Well, he questioned her, huh?
Right.
Where's your husband at?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Who are you? Where
When
you
you're
come from?
driving, sometimes you don't have a chance to do all
No,
that.
right.
You know, that's why I'm asking. And they did, you know, long story short, they did a thing on the internet where they showed this one guy stood out on his corner asking for money and everything, dressed like, you know, he had nothing. And then it showed once the day was done, he went and changed clothes.
Changed
got
clothes,
in
took a shower, got into a nice car.
700 BMW.
Yeah, I've seen videos like that. Yeah. They come out here panhandle, then they go.
Yes, yes.
Man.
And then some of them do make a lot of money panhandling. It was my brother had left, just for example, he had left his ID at home and he wanted to pawn his phone. So he told this dude, look, on the corner, look, come pawn the phone, I'll give you $30. And dude was making so much money panhandling, he would not come and turn the phone in for my brother. My brother was gonna give him $30. You know what I mean? So yeah, there's people out there making money panhandling stuff, and that's they scam.
So I have a scripture here. This right here is Matthew 25:34. Then shall the king say unto them on his right hand, Come ye blessed of my father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundations of the world. For when I was hungry, ye gave me meat. When I was thirsty, you gave me drink.
Right.
When I was a stranger, you took me in. Naked and clothed me. I was sick, and you visited me. I was in prison, and you came unto me. Then shall the righteous answer him, saying, Lord, when saw we thee in hungry, and fed thee, or thirsty, and gave thee drink? When saw we thee a stranger, and took thee in, or naked, and clothed thee? Or when saw we thee sick, in prison, and come unto thee? And the king shall answer and say unto them, Verily I say unto you, insomuch as thou have done it unto one of the least of these, my brethren, you have done it unto me.
Now, you know, some brothers have a hard situation in comparing who to do that to, whether you do it to them out in the world or the ones of us in the truth. So if a brother come in the truth and come through the doors and he's in that condition, and then he asks for, you know, whatever he needs, and then we of course going on according to what the scriptures say, give to our brethren, right? And then of course we're gonna feed him the truth also.
Come on.
Now when you out in the world, now like you said, you gotta weigh it. You gotta use, like I said, discernment, because you don't know, it could be a scam or whatever. But there's enough of us now that are in the truth that are in that situation. They're hungry, they need clothes, they need shelter, that are in that situation. And then of course now I'm saying, because that's your brother, he's in the truth, you know what I'm saying? But he's still in need. But out there in the world, you gotta use discernment, you know.
Yeah, I want to give one. Sirach 29:7. On that same exact topic. Yeah, I think this says it perfect.
The book of Sirach, chapter 29:7. Many therefore have refused to lend for other men's ill dealing, fearing to be defrauded.
See exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Keep going.
Yet have thou patience with a man in poor estate, and delay not to show him mercy.
So still delay not showing mercy. Oh, what we was talking about.
Right.
Hey, you need money. How about we in front of this store? Look, I can get you a whole meal and drink. What you need? I got you. How about what do you need? I'll get it for you.
Right.
That's one way to find out what are they about. Are they out here for drugs or are they in need? Because if they in need, they ain't going to turn down this help, right? Go ahead.
Verse 9. Help the poor for the commandment's sake, and turn him not away because of his poverty. Lose thy money for thy brother and thy friend, and let it not rust under a stone to be lost.
See, so like your brother and friend, don't think about the brother that defrauded you, because that's the Most High going to deal with him for that. That's going to come back on. That's the seed that he sowed. But this brother might really need it, and you done turned him away because he's being punished for a sin of somebody else. So, do what you can. Use, like the elder said, use the spiritual discernment. Inquire at him as to,
Where's that verse at again? 29.
Sirach 29, 7-10. Make inquiries into what's going on with him.
I have another one too. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 12, verse 1. It says, when thou wilt do good, know whom thou dost it
12 and
to.
what?
Right.
12 and what?
12 and 1. So shalt thou be thanked for thy benefits. Do good to the godly man, and thou shalt find a recompense. And if not from him, yet from the Most High.
So
Hey,
explain
real-
that, Yakin.
Well, you
Look.
can, like you said, you can question the brother, to see what type of calamity it fell in. And if you're using the spirit of discernment, and if you think they're using the drugs, don't give them nothing.
Don't give him that.
Hold back your bread. You know what I mean?
Because the Most High do say, I know you're going to finish, but the Most High do say, even when we go teach the truth, if they receive it, then you continue in that city. But if they don't receive it, you know what I'm saying? Then wipe the dust off your feet and move to the next one. So it's the same thing here. Give it to the godly man. You know what I'm saying? Investigate. Where he's at. Yeah.
Brother Yakanan, what was that receipt again?
Sirach 12.
Sirach 12.
Yeah. There can no good come to him that is always occupied in evil, nor to him that giveth no alms. Give to the godly man and help not a sinner. So if they're out there, you think they get ready to get some cigarettes or some crack, don't give them the money. It's witchcraft. You helping a sinner. Give to the godly man and help not a sinner. Do well unto him that is lowly, but give not to the ungodly. Hold back thy bread and give it not unto him, lest they overmaster thee thereby. For else thou shalt receive twice as much evil for all the good thou shalt have done unto him. So you might mean well by giving somebody a couple dollars, but they gonna render it to do evil. You know what I mean? And you gonna pay for it too, because you helped them to do evil.
Not only that, sometimes they'll hate you for the gift.
Yeah.
Look, this nigga just gave me.
Yeah.
Look what he's got.
Oh, and they'll do that
And
too.
put a curse on you.
Because even the
What
Most High,
chapter is it? It says that in Sirach.
Yeah,
No,
this
what he
is-
just said.
even the Most High won't accept the gift of evil, ill gain. So if you rob and steal and then come up here and say, I'm gonna pay some tithes or some donations, but the Most High, I don't really like that. You don't even want it.
And the pastor take that money.
Because they're evil too. But still, it's the same difference. So you're helping a wicked man if you give him money and he's only going to do what? Go get some more crack or whatever
Buy a package for himself. So
for
he can go on
himself.
business.
Well, you helping him.
Or you turn down the neighborhood, but you're gonna pass turkeys on Thanksgiving. That's wicked. And then you celebrate a wicked holiday. You know what I mean?
And you say, well, I'm just giving. No, the Most High don't want you giving to that damn wicked ass holiday.
Not at all.
And see, that's what you find out in inquiries. You make inquiry, and you make inquiry, you might find out there's something else you can help him with. It don't even cost you money. Or you might find out he got some skills that you need at your house right now. You know how to I don't know, do one of them stone. They put the flower beds surrounded by stone, or whatever. You're skilled at that. Oh, but check this out. You down bad. I need my rib. She kind of been talking about how she wanted to fix up the outside of the house. How about you come by and you got that skill? You do this, that, and third. You hook it up for me, and I give you some wages.
Huh. So you don't never know who you're gonna help. You just gotta extend that brotherly love. You know what I mean?
It says that
Oh, and what you said when speaking about them overthrowing you, some people would get lent money or lent something, then they'll act like because you want it back, now they'll return evil to you. That's why I said, know to who thou doest good to, or else he will overmaster. What did it say? Read it again real quick. Well,
do well unto him that is lowly, but give not to the ungodly. Hold back thy bread, and give not unto him, lest he overmaster thee thereby. For else thou shalt receive twice as much evil for all the good thou shalt have done unto him.
See that? So then back when we just came from, though, Sirach 29 again, a little bit above in verse 4, it says, many when a thing was lent them, reckoned it to be found, and put them to trouble to help them. So when it's time to pay it back, it's like, no, this, they act like it was theirs the whole time, like you didn't lend it to them. And now I'm offended as a problem. I'm returning you evil because you're coming for the loan back. And you're not even coming for usury, for interest. You're just coming for the loan that you agreed to pay back anyway. Oh, you want that back? I'm still struggling. You want my money? No, I want my money. You said you was gonna give it back, and we can probably, if you just talk about it, if you ask for an extension, we can probably do that. But they return evil instead of maybe even just explaining. Look, I ain't even got it right now because they counted it found. They didn't even count it as you helped them out. But yeah, unless you want to go somewhere else, we can
No,
go
you
back.
good. I was
Yeah, we
looking
can go
for something,
back.
but I ain't fine.
Con. We was at talking about Abraham and his hospitality for strangers and how we're supposed to do the same things. Romans 12, 9-13.
My sword fall apart. The book of Romans 12, 9. Let love be without dissimulation. Abhor that which is evil, cleave to that which is good. Be kindly, affection one to another with brotherly love and honor, preferring one another, not slothful in business, fervent in spirit, serving Yahweh.
So this is how you serve Yahweh, by doing these things. And you brought out the scripture that how did you with Yahweh Shai, how did what did it say? How did I feed you? How did I feed you and clothe you? Because you fed the least of my people. So that's how we serve the Most High when this is how we act with our people.
Shalaki, and just being the least of our people, it doesn't matter if they're in the truth, because these are the people you want to bring to the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, they're the least of our people. We got to go out there and we got to fetch the fatherless. We got to go out there and fetch the widows. We got to go back there and build a community. Remember, we the ones who are Gator language, and that represents our leadership lacking. Yeah, I mean, we're the people in the state of mourning. So we got to bring back the cheerfulness to our community and show us to depend on us as men. Yeah, I mean, yeah, being a light and being a leadership.
What was your last receipt in Romans?
Is
12, 9-13.
yeah.
12.
Chapter 12, verse 9-13. We're at verse 12. We're at verse 11.
Verse 11. Not slothful in business, fervent in spirit, serving Yahweh, rejoicing in hope, patient in tribulation, continuing instant in prayer, distributing to the necessity of saints, given to hospitality.
In the hospitality. And look, this is Paul not teaching some new thing. Obviously, we see it with Abraham, but it's also Paul teaching the law. This is in the law. So it's also an example set by Abraham on the ways that you're supposed to serve the Most High, but it's in the law. And let's get it real quick. This is law. This is what Yahushua taught the Christians. They do what? they take these things as if it's something new that was taught by Yahweh Shai, taught by Paul. But these things are in the law. They're in the Torah. Deuteronomy 11 and 7. Or 15. Deuteronomy, I think it's 11 and 7 or 15 and 7. Try 11 first. But it's in the law, right? Faith is in the law.
The book of
Did I say
Deuteronomy
11?
11 and 7.
Yeah. I think it's 15.
Slack. Book of Deuteronomy 11:15.
No, I think it's chapter 15, verse 7.
Okay, 15 and 7. Slack.
Mm-hmm.
If there be among you a poor man of one of thy brethren within any of thy gates in thy land, which Yahweh thy power giveth thee, thou shalt not harden thy heart,
Mm-hmm.
nor shut thy hand from thy poor brother, but thou shalt open thy hand wide unto him, and shalt surely lend him sufficient for his need in that which he wanteth.
Mm-hmm.
Beware that there be not a thought in thy wicked heart, saying, the 7th year, the year of release, is at hand, and thine eye be evil against thy poor brother,
Mm-hmm.
and thou givest him naught, and he cry unto thee, the Lord against thee, and it be sin unto thee.
And why did it say that? The 7th year be close. He's like, because in the 7th year, he's gonna owe you, but in the 7th year, you have to release it. So even you have to release this debt coming up, still give to him. Don't have an evil heart by saying, hold up, I'm basically just giving him this money just to give it to him. That's in the law.
That receipt again.
This was Deuteronomy chapter 15, verse 7 to 9. Well, actually, keep going.
Okay,
It's
hold
down to 11.
Deuteronomy 15 and 10. Thou shalt surely give him, and thy heart shall not be grieved when thou givest unto him, because that for this thing Yahweh thy power shall bless thee in all thy works, and in all that thou puttest thine hand unto.
Mm-hmm.
For the poor shall never cease out of the land. Therefore I command thee, saying, thou shalt open thine hand wide unto thy brother, to thy poor, and to thy needy in thy land.
See, and so everybody makes their boast of the law. This has to be done. This is the law. Well, everything Christ taught, they taught what's in the law. Paul, what he taught is what's in the law. What you looking for?
Pen?
You got a precept?
Nah, well, I was looking for one.
All right. You want to go back or you want to get it?
So we have the do's and the don'ts.
Huh?
We have the do's and the don'ts.
And what? In the law?
Yeah. So you
Yeah.
have to a man.
Oh, yeah. And we got the do's and the don'ts. And
Man that is what the scripture
Right.
says, a man that does not put his hand towards plowing during due season, let him
Mhm.
starve.
wait, what?
In other words, a man that hears the season of work,
Uh-huh.
and he won't put his hand to work.
Yeah.
When the time comes along and he's hungry,
Oh,
let
yeah,
him
yeah,
starve.
yeah.
And his hunger
But-
will come upon him as a robber.
Does it say let him starve? Hold on. Because
I have to find him.
that is not the same as being poor. So, yeah. This dude, you just want to work.
Because slothfulness is a sin.
Right. You just won't work. Yeah, let him. Right. Because when you do help, you can get services.
When you enable
So you're going, that's kind of like making them inquiries. You're going to see that like, okay, you're down bad. You need, I don't know, food for a month, right? Well, check this out. I got extra. I got enough. Can you come and, do this, this, that, or the third, whatever. Maybe I'm a contractor. Come and work for me as a what's it called? a laborer. Come and work for me as a laborer for a month, and I'll hook you up with what you're in need of. Just call it a payment, you know. And it's more than what I even pay my other laborers. What you need is more than what I pay my other laborers. Come and work for me. Nah, I can't do that. I'm just need a loan, brother. I'm not really trying to work.
Yes.
Then what you just said exactly. Look, like you the scripture says not to give to you.
Yeah. Hunger is a motivator.
Yeah, you're trying to you trying to get over it. You got it?
I got one. I was looking for another one too, but I got one in Proverbs 28 and 27.
Everybody works, man. The angels work. Yahweh Shai is working. You think Yahweh Shai is up there? He work, but he had to work. So everybody works. We're all servants of the Most High.
Yeah, come.
Everybody.
The scriptures say it's better to be poor than to live a beggar's life.
Right.
I'd rather be dead than to live a beggar's life. That's what it said.
Right.
And they say he that doesn't work and don't eat.
You know what I mean?
And the creation is all work.
Yeah, because just like he said, this slothfulness is a sin. But what about the child that was slothful? What does the scripture say do with him? Kill him.
Yeah,
Take him out
Take
the middle of
you
the
to
city
Yeah.
and stone him to death. A stubborn child don't want to do nothing. You know, some of us got some of those now.
28,
So
27.
I say take him out the
28?
city and
Yeah,
kill him.
28, 27.
You know, so
Oh,
Yeah, you there.
it's a sin.
go ahead.
This is the book of Proverbs 28, 27. It says, he that giveth unto the poor shall not lack, but he that hideth his eyes shall have many a curse. So if somebody in their state of need and you're not helping them, you're going to go through some curses, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You have to show the brotherly love. But I had a scripture, I can't find a precept to say something like, don't let a poor man curse you in their wantonness, you know what I mean? Say something like that. For in their wanting, like
It's in Sirach.
yeah. I had it highlighted, but I can't find it.
Yes, especially if you have it.
I have one Salaki right here.
Okay.
2 Thessalonians 2 and 10. For even when we were with you, this we commanded you, that if you would not work, neither should he eat.
That's
Come on.
Thessalonians.
Yes, 2 Thessalonians 3,
Right.
3:10.
Huh.
So that's like Paul was saying that. Paul ain't gonna have nobody not doing nothing. You know what I'm saying? Going out there doing the work of the Most High, prophesying, whatever, teaching, and you don't want to do nothing. You don't even want to hold post. You don't do nothing.
Yeah, something,
You
man.
just gotta do something. You know what I'm saying? And then Paul said it's a spiritual thing. If I give you spiritual things, then it's a great thing that I reap your carnal things. So people were giving them money and food and everything. And so when it came time to distribute it, you think the person that didn't work got something, they didn't get nothing. You know.
Couldn't find it either.
No,
I
I
ain't
got
working that way.
I got defraud not a poor of his living, if that's what you're talking about.
Read it.
Sirach chapter 4, verse 1, it reads, my son, defraud not the poor of his living, and make not the needy eyes to wait long.
Yeah, that's it.
Make not a hungry soul sorrowful, neither provoke a man in his distress. Add not more trouble to a heart that is that's it. Add not more trouble to a heart that is vexed, and defer not to give to him that is in need. Reject not the supplication of the afflicted, neither turn away thy face from a poor man.
Yeah.
Turn not away thine eye from the needy, and give him none occasion to. Oh, this is
Yeah,
the
that's
part.
it. That's
And
what I'm
get this is
looking for.
verse 5. So Sirach 4, verse 5. Really, even from one down, but this is kind. This is what Yachanan was looking for. Turn not away thine eye from the needy, and give him none occasion to curse thee.
That's right.
For if he curse thee in the bitterness of his soul, his prayer shall be heard of him that made him. Get thyself the love of the congregation, and bow thy head to a great man. Let it not grieve thee to bow down thine ear to the poor, and give him a friendly answer with meekness.
Yep, that's it.
Come.
Yeah.
So that was Sirach 4, verse 1 to
You can go down to
9.
10. I got
Okay.
that all highlighted.
Deliver him that suffereth wrong from the hand of the oppressor, and be not faint-hearted when thou sittest in judgment. Be as a father unto the fatherless, and instead of a husband unto the mother. So shalt thou be as the son of the Most High, and he shall love thee more than thy mother doth.
Yeah. And that's what you're setting out to do, because we live in a fatherless community and stuff like that. We got to be father to the fatherless. God show them the right way. God show them instead of going to jail. You know what I mean, show them what family is. Some of them don't know what family is. We in a society where it's been broken up. Shit, we went through the 80s, you know, the war on drugs broke up a lot of households and stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, you have to show them. And there's a lot of single parent households. Don't nobody know what it is to have no father there. And some don't know what it is to have a mother there. Rico Law took some women to jail. You know?
Yeah.
All right. So where we leave off in Romans?
I think we finished it.
So we can go back to the reading. Verse 5.
They left.
Yeah, they had to go somewhere.
Oh.
The book of Genesis 18:5. And I will fetch a morsel of bread and comfort ye your hearts. After that ye shall pass on. For therefore are ye come to your servant. And they said, so do as thou hast said. And Abram hastened into the tent unto Sarah and said, make ready quickly 3 measures of fine meal kneaded, and make cakes upon the hearth. And Abraham ran unto the herd and fetched a calf tender and good, and gave it unto a young man, and he hasted to dress it. And he took butter and milk and the calf which he had dressed, and set it before them, and he stood by them under the tree, and they did eat.
So these angels, did they really eat of this food?
Yeah,
No, they didn't. Angels don't need to eat.
they don't need to eat.
Like why they ate it in appearance. I'm just going somewhere.
Oh.
So why I say that, go Tobit 12, 15 to 19. So in appearance they ate it.
The angels eat though. They eat food. That's why they told Abraham go get a calf and dress it up, and they ate with him. They ate with him.
But yeah, they ate with him. They broke bread with Abraham. But was it? Do they really
they don't
actually
need to
eat?
eat.
Do they need to eat for subsistence? No. But what do? This is what they do.
Because they're not going to tell Abraham to go get a calf and dress it up. And they're not going to tell him to do that if they're not going to do it with him.
Disrespectful.
Yeah. The same thing when the angels came to Lot.
Right.
They ate with him.
The book of Tobit, chapter 12, verse 15. I am Raphael, one of the 7 holy angels, which present the prayers of the saints, and which go in out.
So this is Raphael when he is revealing himself to Tobit. If you're familiar with the book of Tobit, there was an angel that was pretending to be a regular, brethren of the same nation. He was hired to chaperone Tobit's son on a journey. So he's revealing himself that I'm not who you thought I was. I'm the angel Raphael. Go ahead.
I am Raphael, one of the 7 holy angels, which present the prayers of the saints and which go in and out before the glory of the Holy One. Then they were both troubled and fell upon their faces, for they feared. But he said unto them, Fear not, for it shall go well with you. Praise Yahweh, therefore, for not of any favor of mine, but by the will of our Father Yahweh, I came, wherefore praise him forever.
Mm-hmm.
All these days I did appear unto you,
Mm-hmm.
but I did neither eat nor drink, but ye did see a vision.
You see that? They don't really eat. You'll see a vision. Like the whole time he ate with his son at the riverbank. They ate fish. He took him on a journey. He come back. He's eating bread with him, but it's just it's a vision.
Told that receipt again. It's Tobit.
12:15-19.
Yeah,
And like Abraham's
that was
idea.
Raphael.
Right.
That
Of
was
Raphael.
the angels that came to Abraham. See, that
It's
angel
the same
probably didn't
thing.
eat, but those angels asked Abraham to go dress a calf and everything and get it prepared. to eat.
Well, nah, it was Abraham. It was the whole idea was Abraham.
Yeah, but I'm
They
saying
okayed it, but it's Abraham. He's in his hospitality. It's like when you go to somebody's house and you're not hungry, right? But I'm like, no, elder, come on, you gotta eat. My ribs, she's cooking this, she's cooking this meal. You gotta try it, elder.
well, you got
Listen.
You got to read the other histories. From what I read, these angels came to him and they prepared. Michael was one of them, and Abraham prepared it for them, and they ate with him. And then Michael hung out with Abraham, hung out with him. You know what I'm saying? And it was in his house and everything, hung out with him. So, and he prepared food for them all the time. So, and Sarah, they would have Sarah go get them prepare the food. So, you know, but yeah, I mean, angels don't have to eat, you know, but remember when they come into the flesh, they are in the carnal now. So eating, they could eat if they want to eat. Con.
We can go back. That's all I had on that.
Book of Genesis, chapter 18 and verse 9.
Verse 9.
And they said unto him, Where is Sarah, thy wife? And he said, Behold, in the tent. And he said, I will certainly return unto thee according to the time of life. And lo, Sarah, thy wife, shall have a son. And Sarah heard it in the tent door, which was behind him. Now Abraham and Sarah were old and well stricken in age, and it ceased to be with Sarah after the manner of women. Therefore Sarah laughed within herself, saying, After I am waxed old, shall I have pleasure, my Lord, being old also? And Yahweh said unto Abraham, Wherefore did Sarah laugh, saying, Shall I of a surety bear a child which am old? Is anything too hard for Yahweh? At the time appointed I will return unto thee according to thy time of life, and Sarah shall have a son. Then Sarah denied, saying, I laugh not, for she was afraid. And he said, Nay, but thou didst laugh.
Mm-hmm.
And the men rose up from thence and looked toward Sodom, and Abraham went with them to bring them on the way. And Yahweh said, Shall I hide from Abraham that thing which I do, seeing that Abraham shall surely become a great and mighty nation, and all the nations of the earth shall be blessed in him? For I know him, that he will command his children and his household after him, and they shall keep the way of Yahweh to do justice and judgment, that Yahweh may bring upon Abraham that which he have spoken of him. And Yahweh said, because the cry of Sodom and Gomorrah is great, and because their sin is very grievous.
Real quick, 19.
19.
It said, read that again.
For I know him, that he will command his children and his household after him, and they shall keep the way of Yahweh to do justice and judgment, that Yahweh may bring upon Abraham that which he hath spoken of him.
Because some people say that the law wasn't even around in Abraham's time. But all we keep seeing is the law, the Abraham's doing the law. He gave him the 8th day circumcision. He's sitting, having hospitality. What else does he do? Like, he's keeping the laws of God everywhere you turn. Like we read earlier, what else was he doing? That's in the law. The circumcision, the faith, entertaining strangers. Yeah, that's kind. But what was he doing before, like previous weeks? We showed something that he did that was in the law. You don't remember? Either way, right here is saying he'll do justice and judgment and command his children in the ways of the Most High. So it wasn't when Moses came. The Most High has always had.
Oh, he gave tithes.
He gave tithes. Everything that's in the law, except for, I don't know, maybe feast days that came after. Like certain things were added or whatever like that, but the Most High always had his laws and his ways and his commandments, his standard. This be kept. That's what was so great about Abraham. And faith was one of them. Faith being in the law as well. You know, so that's what the Christians would say, that the law didn't come till then, the law is only for Israel, and you know, all these type of things to make it seem that you don't have to keep the law. But even Abraham had the law, or that the Most High changed with Yahushua. Before Moses got the law to give to Israel coming out of Egypt, you see that Most High had what things that's in the law was being done before the law was brought by Moses. That's the point.
And though Abraham's house was vast with servants and stuff, they were all under the authority of the law. Like
Exactly.
Yeah, they were.
He raised them all under the fear of admonition of the
Right.
Lord. Even the strangers that were with him.
Right. Con. So go ahead, keep reading. Verse 20.
Verse 20. And Yahweh said, because this cry of Sodom and Gomorrah is great, and because their sin is very grievous, I will go down now and see whether they have done altogether according to the cry of it, which is come unto me, and if not, I will know. And the men turned their faces from thence and went toward Sodom, and Abraham stood yet before the Yahweh. And Abraham drew near and said,
So hold it there. So we're talking about Sodom and Gomorrah, right? Go to Revelation 11, 3-8.
The book of Revelation, chapter 3, verse 8. I know thy works. Behold, I have set before thee an open
11?
door. Oh, you said 11? Slack it.
Verse 3.
The book of Revelation, chapter 11, verse 3. And I will give power unto my 2 witnesses, and they shall prophesy 1,260 days clothed in sackcloth. These are the 2 olive trees and the 2 candlesticks standing before Yahweh of the earth. And if any man will hurt them, fire proceedeth out of their mouth and devours their enemies. And if any man will hurt them, he must in this manner be killed.
Keep going.
These have power to shut heaven, that it rain not in the days of their prophecy, and have power over
now,
waters.
some people believe the witnesses are Judah and Israel, or Elijah and Moses. I ain't going here for that. Regardless of which it is, even if it's Moses and Elijah, they still represent who are they prophesying to. They prophesying to Israel, so it still represents us in the Valley of Dry Bones. You can go to the Valley of Dry Bones and link that together with here, right? So keep going.
And when they shall have finished their testimony, the beast that ascendeth out of the bottomless pit shall make war against them, and shall overcome them and kill them. And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city.
So their dead bodies be all Israel. You go out downtown Market Street, what we looking at? The dead bodies. We go to Philly, what we looking at? The dead bodies. We go anywhere over at the four corners, where the ghettos is at, where the slums at, where the Jews reside, dead bodies, right? Go ahead. But specifically over here, the great city.
And their
So
dead
like-
bodies shall lie in the streets of the great city,
So that
Which
great
spiritually
city,
is called-
America,
Sodom and Egypt,
spiritually Sodom and Egypt.
where also our Lord was crucified.
All right, so we're going to read more back in Genesis, more about Sodom. So just to bring out, today we are in what spiritually Sodom and Egypt. So what we're about to read about Sodom is what we're going to read about. We'll be reading about what we seeing here today. We're reading about it here today. So that's why we went there to show in the last days that we would be in what spiritually Sodom and Egypt. So verse 23, go ahead.
Verse 23, and Abram drew near and said, wilt thou also destroy the righteous with the wicked? Peradventure, there be 50 righteous within the city. Wilt thou also destroy and not spare the place for the 50 righteous and are therein, that be far from thee, to do after this manner, to slay the righteous with the wicked, and that the righteous should be as the wicked, that be far from thee? Shall not the judge of all the earth do right? And the Lord said, if I find in Sodom 50 righteous within the city, then I will spare all the place for their sakes. And Abraham answered and said, behold, now I have taken upon me to speak unto Yahweh, which am but dust and ashes. Peradventure, there shall lack 5 of the 50 righteous. Wilt thou destroy all the city for lack of 5? And he said, if I find therefore 40 and 5, I will not destroy it. And he spake unto him yet again, and said, peradventure, there shall be 40 found there. And he said, I will not do it for the 40's sake. And he said unto him, oh, let not Yahweh be angry, and I will speak peradventure, there shall 30 be found there. And he said, I will not do it if I find 30 there. And he said, behold, now I have taken upon me to speak unto Yahweh. Peradventure, there shall be 20 found there. And he said, I will not destroy it for 20's sake. And he said, oh, let not Yahweh be angry, and I will speak yet but once. Peradventure, 10 shall be found there. And he said, I will not destroy it for 10's sake. And Yahweh went his way as soon as he had left communing with Abraham, and Abraham returned unto his place.
Go ahead.
And there came 2 angels to Sodom at even, and Lot sat in the gate of Sodom. And the Lot, seeing them, rose up to meet them, and he bowed himself with his face toward the
I was
ground.
going to tell you, they ate. Yeah, he fed them too. They ate. I was going to tell you, you read on down. Go ahead.
And he said, behold, now my Lord's turn in, I pray you, into your servant's house, and tarry all night, and wash your feet, and ye shall rise up early, and go on your ways. And they said, nay, but we will abide in the street all night. And he pressed upon them greatly, and they turned in unto him, and entered into his house. And he made them a feast, and did bake unleavened bread, and they did eat. But before they lay down, the men of the city, even the men of Sodom, compassed the house round, both old and young.
So did we say the angels eat?
Yeah.
They
it was
wanted
just-
to, they could eat. You know what I'm saying? And they did it out of respect for Lot's household, because Lot made the food for them. They didn't have to, and they weren't going to go hungry, starve to death. But you know, but go ahead.
Even the men of Sodom compassed the house round, both old and young, all the people from every quarter. And they called unto Lot, and said unto him, where are the men which came in to see thee this night? Bring them out unto us, that we may know them.
Yeah, you know what they want to do.
Yeah.
These dudes, the
Angels
whole
don't look
city.
like normal cats. Tall, you know what I'm saying? Robust, warrior-like. You didn't see men like that in Sodom. You know, they're all feminine looking, effeminate, you know what I'm saying? So,
Whole city of flamers.
Hamites.
Whole city of
Flamers,
flamers.
So they look different anyway. You know what I'm saying?
It's like the Walking Dead.
Right.
You know that spiritually, that's what you got. A bunch of zombies that's stuck in their flaming ways, trying to get some boy meat, right? And they surrounding the whole house. Like it's like that movie Walking Dead, like a bunch of zombies clawing at the damn door trying to get in.
It's like you with the Providence.
Get
Yeah.
flesh.
Because Lot just said, you could take my daughters,
Right.
but leave these men alone. Like, you know, as if they're gonna really come in and then take over these two angels. You know, they weren't gonna be able to do it no way. But still, Lot was willing to give his daughters up to save these two angels. Up to these defiled men.
A question.
But
Yeah.
you go ahead.
You remember how Adam hid amongst the trees?
Mm.
Just as likewise, when these men of the Most High come in, the trees know that they don't belong.
They know that.
And
Yeah.
that's why they see them.
And well, they see they see these men they're so glorious, and they want some they want some of that meat. And you know what Lot's doing though? He ain't saving the angels. He's not trying to save the angels. Who's he trying to save?
Trying to say Sodom and Gomorrah.
He trying, yeah. Like he knows that y'all about to make a serious mistake. Like just take my daughters. And so he's ready to lay down something that's special to him and give us something special to him in order to save someone
Yeah,
else.
but at the time,
Say
I don't think they told him yet that the Most High is going to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah. So he don't know that yet. You know,
Mhm.
so he's.
But he know right, but he know who they is,
Yeah, he know
and
what he are. So he,
if this happens,
yeah,
the consequences.
yeah. So he's of course he has to wait for the information and what they're going to give him. He don't know that they come to give him a message that look, you got to get the hell out of here. We
Mhm.
know the Most High going to destroy this place.
And let alone that. Lot's rich, remember this? You can't
He was
lose
rich, he was
everything.
rich.
You can't lose everything. Yeah, I mean, for these fools, he's like, man, y'all fools. Like, y'all can't get everything burnt up. This is my inheritance. What's going on with y'all?
That's why it's hard to serve the Most High when you got a lot of riches out. You don't want to give it up. Most High.
Mhm.
Both sides say, I come for the poor man, the meek. The poor shall inherit the earth. You know, the meek shall inherit the earth. It's hard to serve the Most High when you're rich and got riches and inheritance and all that. You see what happened to Lot's wife? She don't even give that up.
Nah.
You know what I'm saying? To go into a cave?
Right.
This thing, you got a mansion, a $50 million mansion. Now you got to run to a cave. And you go, get that up. So, but
And it's gonna be little things it says to show exactly that. Like he wasn't really trying to give it up.
no.
Watch. Go ahead.
Verse 6, and Lot went out at the door unto them and shut the door after him and said, I pray you, brethren, do not so wickedly. Behold now, I have 2 daughters which have not known
I don't
men.
even know men.
Imagine the daughter's like,
You got
oh,
some-
Dad, what the hell are you doing?
Look, you got some fresh ones though.
Yeah.
Never had no man.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna give you them. They gonna turn that down.
What the hell
Look,
wrong with
look.
you?
Behold, I have 2 daughters which have not known man. Let me, I pray you, bring them out unto you, and do ye to them as good in your eyes. Only unto these men do nothing, for therefore came they under the shadow of my roof. And they said, stand back. And they said again, this one fellow came into sojourn, and he will needs be a judge. Now we will deal worse with thee than with them. And they pressed sore upon the man, even Lot, and came near to break the door.
Like these
They smell
these
bad.
homosexuals was they was
The whole
driven.
town, the
They was
whole-
driven to
Yeah,
take
It
some
might have been
booty.
hundreds, thousands of them, man. Think about
From
that.
every quarter.
Yeah, thousands
Like,
of them. Huh?
Just picture the Pride Festival
Parade at the
parade.
door.
Thousands.
Picture it going left. Like picture all them flamers out there, and then it just two angels, this glorious in their
Right.
apparel and appearance come through,
Right,
and they just all lose their mind.
right.
They trying to
You gotta remember, this is 6 cities too. This is
Right.
6
So it wasn't
cities.
just a couple of people; it was thousands of people.
And the Most High is undressing the heart of the
Right.
sodomite
Right.
because it's showing you that that he wants total anarchy.
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly.
He wants some strange meat too, because he just got offered like 2 virgin daughters, bro.
Right.
And it shows just the uncleanliness of their spirit and mind. Like I shared in the group. I probably can't pull it up because Ayan done posted 1,000 photos, but he be throwing stuff in there. But I had posted on the group chat. I had screenshotted it. It was actually a one of them like short videos I seen on either YouTube or Instagram.
Oh
But it
yeah, I
was
saw that.
at the
man.
Pride Parade. They at the Pride Parade. They in regular public downtown, but because the Pride Parade, they got the audacity to be out there, man on man. Yeah, just say it straight out. Giving another man fellatio right in public, and then pulling the R. Kelly on that man. Urinate.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, and then they doing it in a little kiddie pool so that I don't know what the point of that. I guess so people can see they was pissed because they outside. They care about pissing on the ground, but don't care. That's the mind of these cats and where it's headed.
So,
they care about collecting piss from being on the ground, but don't care about keeping their wickedness and their fornications from the eyes of children and
That's what I was
whoever
gonna
don't want to
say.
see
You
that.
got the
just coming by.
audacity to bring your children to this parade and be proud of it and call it pride. You're proud of this, and then I'm sorry.
No, you did.
Then you got the nerve to sing a song about we're gonna corrupt your children.
Yeah.
We're gonna corrupt your children.
Well, when they'll send their kids to school, the little boys dressed as little girls, and send them to school that way.
Mhm.
What do you expect?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm going to show you at the height. Sodom and Gomorrah was at its height of all, even what he just explained. I didn't know that.
Mhm.
That means it had to be worse than that.
Mhm.
All out in the street and everything. Because for the most side, to give Abraham what he said if there was 50, I would save the city. But that means it wasn't 50.
It was.
If it was 40, I would say it was
Right.
40. If it was 30, so it was at its height. So it was it had to be destroyed because it's at its it's apex or its climax of wickedness.
Yes.
That's where America's at today.
And,
And-
that's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Isn't that where we are today?
That's where
We are
today.
because this is a whole kingdom, Sodom, a whole country, whatever. What's happening here today? This whole vibe, this whole spirit, this whole act is being empowered by what? Our government.
Yeah.
Our government is empowering this, so they're just they're picking up steam. As you see, that now we got actions like cats out here doing pornographic homosexual acts in public just because it's their Pride Day,
Yes.
their parade. Like when did that become cool? Well, it became cool recently because America's making it all good. Now they're trying to add to the alphabet, the one that means into the flag. For what? They're trying to add to it. For
They're
what?
trying to say the pride flag, the black and the brown represent black African Americans and Mexicans now.
Hold up. What else? Something worse. Something worse. They're adding to it. Something worse.
Didn't they add a letter to the LGBTQ?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh,
What
yeah.
did they add? I'm gonna give
I
it.
don't know what
They added pedophilia.
Oh yeah, that's what they did.
They're adding pedophilia. So eventually, pedophilia is going to have certain legalities to it, the same way homosexuality does,
That's it.
because they're saying it's a
You're granting them
a
access
mental
to you're also granting
defect.
them access to your children.
Yeah.
Because that's what that if you again, and we stay so far behind the ball. That's what that was aimed at from the beginning.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because our most powerful back in the day, they used to spend money to go to these poor countries, just to have sex with kids. And they said, why are we doing that there when we control all the money in the United States? We take it back to where we at.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And we're setting back because of our own lust and allowing it to happen.
Mhm. Exactly.
So when you're looking at those numbers, you're not just looking at the ones who take part, you looking at the ones that don't do anything about it.
About it, right.
Mhm.
uncommon.
And you see all these missing children
Yeah.
and people.
Oh, they
now?
don't even, and they don't even, the scene.
I mean, every time I go on Facebook, you see this person's missing. It's somebody new, like almost every day.
Every day,
Yeah.
every day I see a missing
Mhm.
person.
But you remember they used to have shows that came on all the time
Yeah.
like that. Now to find one, you gotta watch TV about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning.
Come on,
Like
yeah.
they used to do with us.
Yeah, Chris Hansen, they set
Yes,
up the
indeed.
pedophiles. Yeah, I don't see him no more either. You right about that.
But it's
And these people aren't dead. These people are missing.
yes.
That means Esau's taking them and doing, you know,
Mhm.
the
God knows what.
pedophilia thing and
Mhm.
everything.
Most likely, you look at our history here. Most likely, some experimentations,
Yeah.
some
Sacrificing them or whatever.
weird sexual stuff.
Yeah,
Like what they had the
Trafficking, everything.
remember the movie
Hostile.
Uncle Tom's Cabin, or what's it called? Uncle Tom's Cabin. They had the boys in they had the little spot where they go and deal with the boys. Yeah, they had like it's
Yeah.
Like he said before when you were talking about NAMBLA.
Yeah.
One of the NAMBLA initiatives in San Francisco out of their 10-point charter was that the federal government would remove any law that forbid sex between the ages. That
Yes,
was
indeed.
their
Well, and it's
number one
happening now.
thing.
They actually had a man that got off of raping a little boy because the little boy never said no.
No.
Yeah.
well, that goes into what they're adding
Yes,
to the
exactly.
alphabet. Now they're adding pedophilia.
Yes. And but they're already doing it.
Yeah, exactly. They're already doing it. They've been doing it. Now they're going to legalize it.
I hate saying this. Excuse me again, but and there's another part of it too. You know, we just refuse to speak up on things because of who it involves. That movement has been being pushed more lately by our women than it has the men.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because she got the fag friend and she
Oh,
out
yes,
here with
indeed.
him.
They
And
agree with it now.
He
So
he
there's
doing the
nothing
makeup and all that
that's being
stuff.
done about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a lieutenant.
Yes.
She backs it up. You know, that attributes to her wickedness that she's right there with him.
I just see that in the hospital I work in. Like you got and it's Eve too. You rocking the pride shirt and everything. You don't support it, but why are you rocking this
Yes.
rainbow and the
Yes.
pride stuff too? But you say you ain't got, and some of the women I work with, they West Indian, like I said, and they was adamantly against it. And then now you for it.
Yes.
And you brown noses for Esau, and you all for it.
All for it.
You all for it. You know what I mean? It's crazy, man. And then you're part of the feminist movement as well.
Yes.
So then you're trying, not only are you for that, but you're trying to emasculate the so-called Black and Hispanic man in the workplace too as well.
And the deception is that though that behavior is at war with the female.
Yeah.
It is.
The number one greatest enemy, but it's being fortified and protected by her
By her.
because she's the mother of the male.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's the mother of the daughter, and because of that disorder where it's a man can do a difficult thing where a female has a problem doing it.
Mm-hmm.
If you tell me you have to cut this thing off for the rest of the body to live, a man is more likely to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But a mom will love that sickness and hope to
Yeah.
love it back to heal this.
Yes.
And she won't see that this thing can destroy the whole
Getting
body.
destroyed the whole body. Yeah.
So it's just the nature of us.
Yeah, and that's what they're doing with the children. You're allowing the
Right.
child to be a homosexual in the crib.
Right.
You're saying you're born like that when it's a learned behavior. And to say that, you're saying a child knows lust.
Yes.
How you gonna say a child knows lust when how a child knows sexual activity?
Mhm.
And he never. You got to be taught it. You got to be exposed to it.
Unless it's the man that just came out of prison, you go back.
Well, when they started taking our schools and putting first grade in with high schools, we talked about this earlier. There was nobody speaking up against that,
And
and all they wanted to do is make your youngest part of
Right.
that system.
Right. Right.
Watch what the older ones is doing, and they'll follow suit. Because now that's all they know.
and that's how it's set up exactly in Odessa right now.
Oh, it's
From
everywhere.
Odessa though, you can go on the same compound, the
Yeah.
whole
Well, that's
compound,
what I'm talking
and you
about.
go from pre-K all the way
Yes.
to high school and don't go
But
nowhere.
that was done for a reason. See, we always put ourselves in a position of having to react.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're not smart enough to see what's being done to us anymore. We sit back.
Yeah.
Man, I don't understand.
Well, a lot of so the government, they're empowering it to go on by making all these laws. And then y'all said the woman is at the forefront. This pushing it like more than the men, right? That's a
Yes.
fact. So it brings me to Revelations. Christ was dealing with the same spirit that we dealing with now. Go there real quick. 2:20. this Yahushua dealing with the churches in back then in the book of Revelation, dealing with the same thing. That spirit's been lingering around our people amongst the women. That Jezebel spirit, that's what it is. That Jezebel spirit. That's the same spirit that's in the homes causing disorder.
Yes.
The same spirit that's so-called in the truth, still trying to usurp authority. That's the same spirit that's out here this pushing the gay friends. It's okay. My son be what he wants to be. All that homosexuality spirit, because that Esau did what? Esau saw the power of dealing with the black woman and causing disorder by getting to her first. That's why the whole put the man out, because our women is carrying around this Jezebel spirit, and Esau is taking advantage of that.
If it worked in the garden, it'll work in the
Thank you.
If it worked, exactly. Like the scripture said, what was done then is done now, is going to be done. There's no new thing under the sun.
It's because Esau's giving a false sense of rulership to our women, even though it's no ownership of properties, it's no ownership of passing down of inheritance or anything like that. You know what I mean? And it's been taken from us, where if it has been an inheritance passed down to the daughter, she's going to sell everything as an asset instead of nation build and pass it down as generational wealth. And you see it time and time again within families. You know what I mean? And some of us done dealt with that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
When we look at the other nations, the Chinese men, the Japanese, and so on, that we look at them and they have not had a group that has formed a confederacy to strip him of controlling his woman.
Mhm.
And the reason, because he has control over his woman,
Yeah, control.
he can bring her back online. You know, when she gets off center, he can pull her back online. However, by force or by just
Yes.
nurturing her to the line, right? But we have been stripped from that authority.
Yeah.
So therefore, it shows up in our communities because we don't rule over a woman, but the other nations do rule over their women. And
Absolutely.
it doesn't have to be evil. It can be for the good and the betterment of those nations.
Right.
Well,
Because it has to manifest itself,
God,
like you said, from the time of Eve,
God.
when she went against Adam, it has to manifest itself all up until now. Because the Most High prophesied, he said, the serpent, he's going to cause the serpent and the woman to hate each other.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And that vibration has to continue up until the time Yahushua comes back. See, so we're in the middle of that now. You know what I'm saying?
And
It's
you gotta
being
look
played
at,
out to the
Yes.
fullest.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And you gotta look at the fact, you gotta look about what Obama brought to this picture. Because Obama actually started that thing where when they dealt with China, Japan, anywhere, because this is a world nation now, that if they didn't accept that lifestyle, they wasn't doing business with them.
Mhm. Yeah,
That's true.
he did do that. Yeah.
Yet we sat back talking about all the things that he couldn't do because he didn't have help. That was crazy. He did what they set him out to do from the beginning.
No, he
and
did.
it was that.
Obama
But
traveled
he
so
wasn't
much.
setting out to give us any help
No,
or
it
aid.
wasn't about, he
I
even
know.
said out his
It
own
wasn't-
mouth
absolutely.
that it was not about us.
Remember,
He said that
Obama
out
went
his own
to
mouth.
he went to the Virgin Islands,
Yes.
went to Jamaica, tried to convince them. Not too many presidents go to the Virgin Islands.
Yeah.
Trump didn't even know that he was president over the Virgin Islands. Someone told him. But Obama went to the Virgin Islands. He went to Africa. He went to Europe. All trying to convince them to do about the homosexual agenda.
That's right.
That's what it was about.
Right.
And if you read about the homosexual agenda, it'll make you go crazy,
Yeah.
man. If you read that whole manifesto, you got to read the whole thing. It says their determination is to have it in every fact of life there is. The locker room,
That's
football,
everything.
baseball,
That's
basketball, the classroom,
Right.
kindergarten. That's their whole agenda, man. You got to read that thing. It's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, and we were discussing that last week. Like
Yeah.
you go to this Carnival Caribbean Festival, now you see like this homosexual West Indians, and they was like boom bye bye to the Bati Boy dead and all
Yeah.
that stuff.
Yeah.
We discussed it last week, and they made Buju Banton apologize for that song and all that stuff, and he did it.
Yeah.
He did it. You know what I mean? Because you got to make your buck,
Yeah.
and he's selling out. It's selling out.
Yep.
And then it's other Jamaican artists coming against him for even apologizing for talking about killing the Bati Boy.
If they don't play that, I mean, he went to Jamaica. Jamaica don't play that. They,
Nah.
they kill you. If they find out you know. But They trying to get it down there too.
Yeah, but like I said, you go to these Caribbean festivals, you're gonna see it.
You go-
Man.
oh, yeah.
Like,
Well, up here in America, yeah, you'll find it. Yeah.
we're gonna pick it up back.
No. We're gonna pick that up next week.
Okay.
Plus, that point.
Okay.
It's going.
Come.
It's 3:47. So
All right.
that chapter is way too long for us to keep going. The chapter we're in.
All right. We'll finish where we left off next week. We are Hebrew chosen elect. Once again, we want to give all praise, glory, and honor to the Most High Yahweh in the name of His Son Yahweh Shai, and Asher Shabbat to the 12 tribes of Israel who are scattered to the four corners of the globe. And we're located here at 19 Lamson Lane, classroom 110B, from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. And if you would like to give any alms or free will offer, you can give them at hashtag Hebrew Chosen Elect at Cash App. And we would love to have you come fellowship with us. And with that, we'll say, Kwam Yasharala.
Kwam Yasharala.
Kwam Yasharala.
Kwam Yasharala.
Kwam Yasharala.
Kwam Yasharala.
Hashem Yahweh Shai.
Hashem Yahweh Shai. And that's it.
Yeah, man, stuff getting crazy, man. Stuff getting crazy.
Put your seatbelt on.
Yeah, I seen the homework too.